Hello. How are you?
Hello
How's it
there.
going?
Hi,
I figured
everybody.
I started it with nobody watching, but now we got people watching, so it's all good. It's all
Yeah.
You know
good.
what I started to do with mine? I run like three different intros to like do like 90 seconds of just okay, obviously word balloons on, and just kind of give people a chance to kind of gather and stuff. I don't know.
Who has that kind of time? Who has that kind of time? I don't know.
Works for me.
Hey, how about that word balloon? I watched that episode last night when you guys were talking about the Diamond DC deal, which I really didn't understand much about going into it. But if anybody is curious about what's going on with that, that last night's pod was a great sort of summary of the issues, and I came to understand it a lot better thanks to that conversation. It was quite good.
Thanks, man.
Will you explain it to me? Because I still don't get it. I have no idea what we're talking about.
Oh, you didn't see the news yesterday morning at 10?
No,
DC
I'm on a
announced-
I'm on a self-imposed news blackout. So
I understand. DC announced that they are no longer going to be distributed at all by Diamond. Like basically starting immediately. I mean, really, stores do not have time to scramble and immediately like glom onto UCS, which is Midtown Comics, or Lunar, which is DCBS. Isn't that weird that like wouldn't you think UCS would be DCBS because it's kind of similar to their names? But yeah, Lunar is DCBS, Discount Comic Book Service in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and UCS is Midtown. And yeah, like initially it was announced, a couple months ago that they would temporarily, distribute DC books when Diamond announced that they had to shut down and they were having credit problems and everything. The consensus is that it probably came from upstairs. It wasn't a DC publishing decision. That it was probably something from AT&T, and it is what it is. And I mean, but again, yeah, I really Mike was nice too. Both Mikes were nice and said nice things about it. Negan was saying before we were on the air. I had Rich Johnson from Bleeding Cool and Patrick Brower from Challengers. I extended an invitation to Brother Bear, but he was busy.
yeah,
So-
I think something was happening.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm sure he's busy winding his watch. That's fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we all got
and-
watches, Johnny.
I understand. It's a euphemism.
Oh.
So, wait a
I'm
minute, I
watching
know
my
this.
watch right now.
Exactly. I mean, keep your pants on, sir.
Is that a euphemism for timekeeping or?
Yes, it is. It's a euphemism for timekeeping. But it was So Patrick Brower represented stores, which was really good perspective. And then Rich was saying, okay, Diamond UK was distributing DC, in England and Europe, and it's like, well, how do they get their comics now? And what's going to be set up, and how much is the price of the comic going to go up? Because obviously, Batman's worldwide. Everybody wants Batman.
Those guys are really screwed. That's what the end, at least in the short term.
Well, we'll see. I mean, there's time, and a little bit of time, and I don't know. It was awesome. Christina Merkler, who runs Lunar, and also is the president of the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund committee. She was watching, and Brian Salazar from Around Comics was in
Oh,
there.
sorry, they were texting, right?
Yeah, and she was texting him like answers to basic questions and stuff. And they're still trying to figure out the whole European thing.
But at the end of the day, Johnny, they don't have the same infrastructure that Diamond does. Not that I'm a Diamond proponent, but in the idea that Diamond ships everything to a warehouse there, and then it gets just distributed from that warehouse,
Right.
which averages down the shipping cost, opposed
Right.
to Lunar and DCBS is going to have to ship directly, and as we all know, shipping internationally is extraordinary.
Really, really expensive. Yeah. Well, Rich was saying that Diamond UK is a separate business from Jeppy's Diamond. So maybe there's going to be special dispensation and they'll continue to do Diamond UK. I honestly don't know. I mean, these are the questions that we were asking. So yeah, I don't know. And then also, I mean, good Lord, what lousy timing. Stores are already kind of dealing with the pandemic. And It's really, I mean, it's a corporate move, and you know something? I am living proof that corporations make really crappy decisions at really inopportune times. You know, I mean, that's just the way they are, man. And I really believe this is an AT&T initiative. So
I almost feel like it's they're trying to take advantage of the situation. Like, it's broken. Everyone's in a bad place. We want to get out of this business. So let's, if we do this 3 months from now, well, it might work out. And I think the intention is that they do not want it to work out. They want to use it like, see, this is broken. We're going to just get rid of it.
Well, that's the thing, man. And I, when you say get out of this business, I mean, I is it just the monthly floppies they want to get out of that business, or do they want to get out of the book business altogether? I mean, AT&T continues to divest all of its publishing arms, like Simon & Schuster, and I forget what other high-end publishing, novel publishing and book publishing arm and stuff. I believe Time Warner was spun off as well, with Sports Illustrated at the time and all that stuff.
I don't think they want to get out of the publishing business per se, or at least I think they want to get out of the direct market comic business. That's what I think it is.
No, it's interesting. So yeah, I mean, and again, I mean, it just happened yesterday morning, and everyone's like, "That what?"
Well, if you look at it, all the biggest proponents, and I actually realized it listening to your podcast last night. All the biggest proponents of the direct market have systematically left DC over the last 18 months, including Diane Nelson, Dan DiDio, but the one that I had completely forgotten about, and you said last night, Bob Wayne.
That's a couple of years, but Bob was Bob. Yeah, he was the best friend of the retailers, and being a retailer himself before he joined DC. No, I mean, again, I can, as an observer and not someone whose business is impacted by this decision, it's fascinating. And yeah, I mean, we knew there were big shifts coming to the comic book business because of the pandemic, and also just again with AT&T, taking over Warner's and now DC. But who knows? I mean, really, we don't know. I mean, I do think there is still an outside possibility that they could license the comic division to a Boom or an IDW or some other thing, and they would publish the comics. They're not going to sell off Batman as an IP or any of those characters as IPs. No. Obviously, those are
billion-dollar franchises.
Yeah, billion-dollar, absolutely, man. No, and I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah, but the comics don't make that much,
right?
So they can get rid of those, and they can license it out to. Yeah,
they're not. Yeah,
they're not going to get rid of the IP, though. Yeah,
no, of course
they'll never sell Batman.
Right,
they'll license out Batman.
They'll license it out. Yeah.
Or comics.
And my buddy Marty Pasco was saying this 10 years ago. Can you imagine if Superman were suddenly published by IDW? I mean, that's literally what he was saying. And I'm like, no, I get it, man. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know.
But I'm just wondering who would.
I'm just going to answer Sergio and say I have no idea who that guy is.
Never met him before. I just think that one of the difficulties is if you're going to license that, if they do decide to license it out, who could afford it? Who could?
Who knows? Well, who knows what the price is? And I think IDW. Well, you're right. IDW is actually in a little trouble right now.
I don't think any of the publishers besides Marvel can do it. Otherwise, those smaller publishers. And then what happens is, then they decide to break it up? Oh, we're going to sell Batman to this person, Superman to this person. Like,
could happen. It could happen.
And
again, that's probably the least likely.
I'll put a $10 bid in for Superman.
There you go. That's the least likely scenario.
20.
I think I know who's going to buy Lex Luthor.
Bigly. Yeah.
Comics buy some of the lower tiered DC characters, like I don't know, Ambush Bug.
No one's gonna want to license Ambush Bug.
Kite Man's big now because of Harley Quinn. See?
Yeah, the weather wizard. Somebody's going to buy Weather Wizard.
I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I would think kind of like the way Sony has Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse and stuff. I could be wrong, but hey, I'll license Kite Man for $50. How about that? Give me Ragman. I'll take Ragman for $14.50.
Whatever happened to Ragman?
I love Ragman, and I know Phil Hester has a Ragman pitch. I know a lot of creators who who would love to do new Ragman stories. That's a great Joe Kubert character.
Ragman is a great character.
All right, hold that thought. We're going to come back on the other side of this. Oh, look at that! That was like a whole professional word balloon commercial.
How about it?
Professional.
Well, you and I are busy, man. We're making all these little promos.
You made that?
Yeah,
I did. I know Johnny made that. I didn't.
I made that one.
Oh, Johnny, you made that? That's super profesh.
Oh, God, do you got to see the stuff I was running on? Like I said, Word Balloon Live. I got a great one where it looks like it's the start of a pharmaceutical commercial because it's real tranquil music, and there's a woman painting in the backyard, and it slowly pans, and suddenly you see the canvas she's painting on, and it's the League of Word Balloon Listeners logo.
Oh, nice.
Everybody, watch your language. All right, that's good.
Oh.
Good stuff.
Oh,
Draw or write. Do what you want to do. That's my advice to you. And thank you. I'm not sure if I'm great or Girar, but I'll take either one. Thank you.
Sergio Reina Telgamar. Kind of like John
So,
Jacob.
Ragman. Who wants Ragman? Nobody wants Ragman.
Well, that's
I
what I'm
won, Ragman.
I'll take the inferior 5 for $4.95, if I may.
I will pay $375 for the Legion of Substitute Heroes. But all of them. It has to be all of them, including Polar Boy. I know he was a Legionnaire for a while, but still, he has to come with the package.
And wasn't Night Girl also a Legionnaire for a while?
I don't think
Because
Night
she
Girl
was
ever
dating
became
Cosmic Boy, as I remember.
Yeah, she was dating Cosmic Boy, but I don't think she ever became a full-fledged. I mean, since she was, dating Cosmic Boy, she was in on the adventures.
Yeah, she was around. Yeah.
Never made a full-blown Legionnaire, but Polar Boy was made a. Not only was he made a full-blown Legionnaire, he was a leader for a while.
Funny.
What about
remember in the
what about
70s?
Matter Eater Lad?
Of course,
about-
classic.
Boys love Matter.
Yeah, but what does that guy poop out?
I don't want to know. Antimatter,
Antimatter.
you would think. What was I going to
Did
say?
you see what's his name shirt?
Yes.
Mine?
What's his name? Sure.
What's his name? Chris? What was his name? The poop tie-dye shirt. What's his name?
Oh, Gigantic Jeff?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
The
That's
poop
what-
tie-dye shirt.
That's what Matter Eater Lad pooped out. That's what Matter Eater Lad pooped out.
Oh yes.
I saw it.
I
I
think
saw
we
a
killed Johnny.
different tie-dye shirt. Yeah, you've made me choke on my own words here. That's very good. Poop tie-dye. That's his CV handle. All right, poop tie-dye checking in. 10-4.
I'm gonna start a line of clothing called Poop Tie Dye.
Poop tie-dye.
It'd be big, I bet. I bet you it would be huge.
This is how we come up with the designs is we hang up a shirt and then we fling poop at it, and then that's how we.
Or you can get shirts and just wipe your butt with them.
Ooh, easy now, easy.
Flinging.
It's a feces frenzy.
Yeah.
Oh man, we have a special limited edition. We're giving our model or our creator a whole bag of Taco Bell before he gets ready to work on it.
And then there could be like limited edition. This Tom Cruise wiped with this shirt. Limited edition. There's only 50 of them.
By the way, I have Lawrence of Arabia recording in the background. Hello for the next 4 hours. It's the long cut.
Did you already see it like twice?
Something, I don't think I've seen it all the way through ever. Because, man, a couple of years ago, they were running the 70 millimeter print in art houses, and it was at the Music Box here in Chicago. And I know Ryan Brown went and saw it, and Seeley, and a couple of the others and stuff, but I couldn't go because I was working. I was doing overnight radio.
And you're recording it at home on VHS right now?
Yeah, VHS. Yeah, I'm recording it on a Edison gramophone cylinder right now.
Oh.
It's wax, so I got to be very careful with it.
All right, listen, we got a chock full of commercials, so we'll be right back.
Oh, we got to go back, man.
All right,
That's outstanding. Wow.
I don't think
I had no idea. That's fantastic.
So,
That's cool, Francis.
I did the first commercial. I did the first commercial because Scoot was there, and then I put the commercial, and he popped out, and I couldn't add him, so I had to play another commercial real quick now because he came back. So
That's great.
That's a good one.
that
I
one,
like
I
it.
don't think Mario's watching tonight, but that one was for him. So
He'll see it.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up eventually and then be rendered in sketch.
I'll message him.
For
Yeah,
the
thank
love of the glove.
Yeah.
I thought you liked that.
I
My
love
son
that
made that
one.
one. My son made that one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Did he
I don't
shoot
get
on
it. Why don't-
location? Did he actually
Can someone
shoot it?
explain?
Oh,
Go ahead,
yeah.
Scoot.
This is probably like 4 years ago now, but Johnny had just moved into his new apartment, and it was a free comic book day at Skokie, and I drove in from Toledo, and Johnny offered his futon, and I said, sure, that sounds great. So I went to Johnny's place. It was immaculately clean, looked great like it does now. And these guys were asking me about it, Art and Franco on the pod, because they wanted the dirt. You know, they're like, come on, something had to be wrong. And I said, no,
and
it
remember,
was
this is free comic book day weekend, so that's
Yeah.
like first weekend in May.
May. And I'm like, no,
Wow.
it was clean. Johnny was a good host. And then Art and Franco were like, oh, come on. And then we were talking. I go, oh, wait. I go, there was one thing that I remember. And I go, I was in his kitchen, and there was a little, like a winter glove, a black glove, just one in the middle of the floor. And there was no other gloves in sight, just that one glove. And we're live on the pod, and Johnny looks back and he goes, oh, yeah, there it is, right back there.
We're still there.
It was still there. So that's the glove. Yeah.
It's still
We should-
there right now too. If you
We
pan
should
on the
take,
floor, it's there.
Yeah, really. I'm not wearing pants, or I'd get up and get it and tell you guys.
So what I like to imagine is Johnny's house was a mess before I came there to stay, and he has carrying all this stuff around, and that glove dropped out. He
Yeah,
shoved
dropped
it in the closet. Yeah.
No, but I did, because Scoot was coming. I literally bought brand new sheets and brand new pillows for him because I did want him to be as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, he
So-
was a good host.
What was the thread count on the sheets?
I'm sorry.
The thread count on the sheets.
Yeah, that I couldn't tell you. It was, they were nice though. I made an effort to make good, comfortable bedding. So
So Johnny tried as hard as he could, and he left that
Except
glove
that
there,
glove.
and that became the glove. Now it's associated with
glove.
Johnny. So
Yeah.
whenever you see a
Mario's
random
fixated
glove
on it.
laying on the road, take a picture and send it to
yeah,
him.
people usually take pictures, and I like pink, and they'll like show like gloves on the like pavement. And stuff.
I
Did you just
text
say
them
you
to you.
bedded him comfortably?
I'm sorry.
You bedded him comfortably?
No,
Yeah,
I wanted
he
to
did.
provide him with
Yeah.
comfortable bedding. Yes.
I
I'm a
don't
good
know. I heard
host.
bedded
Hey
him
man, I'm
comfortably.
the Conrad Hilton of Chicago podcasters. Don't kid yourself.
And we went to breakfast the next day, and I bought him pancakes.
Yeah, we really seriously. My neighborhood, and this of course bums me out during the pandemic, but I literally live walking distance from like a slew of really nice restaurants in Roscoe Village. It's not one of the like crazy, insane Chicago neighborhoods that are always like
like Skokes,
but
like
it's-
Skokes neighborhood.
yeah. I mean, and Mike knows. Skoke's been there and everything. We've
I've
had
been to your neighborhood. We went to John's place. I got some of that veggie soup. It was
that
delicious.
vegetarian chili.
Hey,
Yeah,
Sergio.
it's excellent.
That's what it
Excellent.
was. Chili. Yeah.
We went to Scoot and I went to Orange. It's called Orange,
Yeah.
and that's a good breakfast place.
Hmm.
Oh, look, it's Claude Rains in Lawrence of Arabia. I forgot he was in it.
Isn't that Omar Sharif in that?
Yes,
I
and
just
of course
like
Peter
that
O'Toole.
name. I like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. The doubly named euphemism, Peter O'Toole.
Is Alec Guinness in that?
Yes.
Is he?
No,
Is he in Lawrence? I
he's, in
couldn't
the,
remember.
he's in the Bridge over the River Kwai.
Yeah, like
Hello?
Guinness
I
from
love- that's
Star
a great
Wars.
movie.
I
Hello?
forgot.
Yeah.
co-star Sir Alec Guinness.
I don't
What a
remember
nice
any
man.
droids.
I don't think Alec Guinness is in Lawrence of
I thought he
Arabia.
was.
Oh, okay.
Hold on one second. I'm going to go because
Here's the intro.
you'd think he'd be listed given the Oh, there he is. Excuse me. Yep. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah, you
Hello
messed
there.
up, Johnny.
And again,
he's Prince Faisal.
I
Prince
need to
Faisal.
correct you. It's Sir Alec Guinness.
Yep.
Please.
Indeed.
Sir Alec
And Anthony
Guinness.
Quinn. Anthony Quinn's in it too.
my.
I love Anthony Quinn.
Zorba the
Anthony
Greek.
Quinn, like he made a lot of crappy movies at the end of his life because he wanted the money. I mean, he needed to live. I get it. It's all right. But man, I love watching
He must
Anthony
have been
Quinn movies
Greek.
from like the 40s and 50s because he was amazing. I'm sorry.
He must have been Greek.
No, he's Mexican actually.
The same difference.
No.
I think no.
I mean, he did great in Zorba, great movie, but it's like, yeah, he's not great. No, he's not great. Sorry.
Zorba the Hutt.
Zorba.
Kevin Zorba.
Zorba the whole.
If he was doing Zorba today, would it be cultural appropriation?
Absolutely, it would.
Upset.
Yeah, they'd
Might have been, right?
get Telly Savalas is dead, but he could do it.
Love you, baby.
Jennifer Aniston's father could do it. Michael Aniston.
No, he
He
just
should
passed
be-
away recently. I think.
Did Michael Aniston just die? Really?
I think so.
Wow, that's sad. He was a good actor. I liked him.
Some sad.
I did not know that Jennifer Aniston had a father who was an actor.
An acting father, yes, indeed.
That is
Oh wait, no, her father in the show, the one who doesn't like Ross. I thought that's what you were talking about.
Oh, that's Ron Liebman.
Yes, he passed away, I believe.
Ron Liebman's an excellent actor. I'm a big fan of his. Very funny.
Very nice.
He's in the unfortunate film Up the Academy,
Ooh,
the Mad Magazine movie. That my good friend Harry Tynowitz is one of the kids in that movie.
there was
Horrible.
a Mad Magazine movie.
Yes, although Mad disassociated itself from the movie because it was so bad, and because Bill Gaines actually had humor taste. It was like a tweener movie, but slightly raunchy, but wouldn't go for the full R because they wanted kids to see it. And it was about like a military academy, and Ron Liebman was the commandant of the military academy, and it's just not funny,
What about all the National Lampoon movies? There were a whole bunch of them.
I know the backstory on all that because
Yeah.
the brand got bought by these real cheeseball producers, and they National Lampoon presents school day trip, or whatever.
Van
John
Wilder.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think Van Wilder might have been during that period, but I'm thinking of the really crappy direct-to-video ones, like
I
Post-Loaded Weapon, like High School High, where John Lovitz and Tia Carrere are your stars,
Yeah.
and that's
I
where your
remember
troubles begin.
one in the late '80s, early '90s,
Yes.
where there was a killer going around killing people with lawnmower parts. So it was a very funny movie. It was a spoof.
Sounds funny.
It was it was a spoof on like the the slasher films, but I think it was a National Lampoon movie where
I will
it
look
was-
up National Lampoon IMDb movies
Yeah.
because there's a
Ralph
lot of bad
Macchio
ones.
was in Up the Academy.
But now,
National
yeah,
National
Hold on.
Lampoon.
my allergies are killing me. Sorry.
Oh man, you all right? Gonna be
Oh,
okay.
man.
National Lampoon Tang.
Ooh,
National Lampoons. I know what you did last summer.
That's National Lampoon Tang is what the astronauts would drink in outer space.
That was with Ron Jeremy. That was a whole different movie.
Oh, was he ever in outer space? Maybe he
What
went.
if they sent him? What if they shot him up there to be with the astronauts? That'd be good. He's floating around.
They wouldn't have any problem docking to the station. That's for sure.
And go.
sorry. There's kids watching. Sorry.
I like that one.
It just
Oh
brings
my
back
God.
memories of how we met.
It's you said that before that's the story. Like I first told you. I don't think is that true?
I think it is. It's my first memory of you, at least.
Oh, that's a bad one. Then I'm sorry.
And yet
Sorry.
here we are.
you must have liked it.
I said that guy. He's a guy after my own heart.
National Lampoon's Student Body, is that it? Student Bodies, that might have been it.
Could have been.
Yeah.
There's a Loaded Weapon, of course.
No, I don't remember.
Oh, that was really bad.
With Emilio Estevez.
Yes. Yes.
You remembered that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It's bad.
Those movies are on TV all the time.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're horrible. And I think on Tubi as well, that streaming channel with commercials. Class Reunion.
Oh, Class Reunion might have been it. I don't know.
Fireballs with a Z at the end. Fireballs.
Balls.
There's Blind Date. There's
Oh,
Frat
Blind-
Chance. Like
Blind
Frat
Date was
Chance.
the one with Bruce Willis, right?
No, that's a different Blind Date. This is
Oh.
National Lampoon's Blind Date.
Was
That was
Right,
a bad movie. Too,
they
by
were
the way.
both awful.
Yes.
was that
Yes.
Scott was that Scott Baio movie Zapped National Lampoon movie?
No, it was not.
No, Heather Thomas was in that.
Yes, she was. But they had a body double for her. What is your laptop hanging from strings? What are you doing? And by the way, you just proved you can move your laptop and not kill vampires with this.
Because I remember in that movie,
He's floating.
She tried to cover herself up, so she went like this.
Yeah.
And,
Mike-
and I tried to do that move, and I knocked my laptop.
Mike's in outer space. See, there's zero gravity where he's at right now. He's just floating.
Exactly. It's live at Apollo 13.
That's Ron Jeremy.
Joke knows, being a Gilbert Gottfried fan, that not only is Gilbert Gottfried a fan of the film Zapped, he can sing all the songs from Zapped that were written by Charles Fox, the guy who wrote the Happy Days theme.
I remember liking that movie as a kid. With the Zap 2, which I remember was awful.
Heather Thomas was in it, of course.
And Willie
HT,
Ames was
as we
the
call
best
Willie
friend.
Ames before he went full Christian.
But then they did a Zap 2 without Scott Baio, but with Willie Ames came back, which
Because he had nothing better to do.
Except go Christian. But Heather Thomas, I think she sorry. I'm in a feisty mood tonight. Heather Thomas, I think her acting career.
I'll be right back.
Oh, see, it's kinda,
Good thing you came on, Scoot. Well done.
I tried to come on before the kids went to bed, and now he's coming up here. I can hear him.
You can hear him.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear this part.
Forky cup. Watch.
Forky Cup,
3, 2, 1.
3PO.
Oh, did he
I don't
freeze?
see it.
There he is. Yay!
is.
Hey, it's Oliver McMahon joining the.
You want to say hi? Remember
Hello
this?
again,
Look over
everybody.
here.
Oh, that's right. It was
Hello
Clash.
there. Welcome, Oliver. Welcome to the pod.
Yeah.
We're all happy to see Oliver.
How are you doing?
Hey,
Oh, they can't see.
That's good. That's
how's your
good.
sister?
Tell them what you were watching.
Dumbo.
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 Nice.
No, I was watching Thomas.
Was he watching?
Thomas?
Yeah.
Thomas the Train.
Oh, Thomas is good.
Nice.
I love Thomas. I've seen.
Are they
a lot
ones
of
with
Thomas in my
Ringo or
life.
are they ones with George Carlin?
Both. I watched both of them. Oh, you're talking to him.
Yeah, I was talking to him, but all right.
Sorry.
Glad to hear
Oliver,
it. Excellent.
Oliver, have you been drawing lately?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Adam.
Okay, he's tired.
All right.
I gotta
See you,
get
buddy.
Bucky back. See ya.
All right, no
All right.
problem, man.
All right. Bye.
Good kid. I liked
done.
his pictures of what's his daughter's name.
Felicity.
When he comes back.
Felicity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Felicity.
No.
Oh, that's right. I was going to call her Fallacy, like I always call Kendra Kendall, and just call her Fallacy.
She's
On
made up.
purpose, but
so.
you know, exactly. Hey, Fallacy, how you doing?
What if that was a name?
That'd
Oh,
be excellent. Tim Seeley named his daughter Valentina, and I always call her the Contessa because of Shield. Nick Fury's girlfriend, Valentina, played by, as we just saw, Lisa Rinna in the fine Hoff Shield movie.
oh, that's who that was.
We have to do another one. She's on the Housewives of the Orange, New York City.
Oh, one of the new reality shows. Is she really?
Yeah,
I'm a big fan, man. So do we occasionally see Harry Hamlin? Aren't they still together?
I think so.
Oh
yeah.
yes. I have seen her. I haven't seen him, but I've seen her because Lawyer watches it, and I've seen her in passing as I.
Her
Yeah,
lips
I'm a
seem
big
to have gotten
fan.
bigger.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I'm a massive fan of hers. Always was.
Going back to Heather Thomas, I believe that she was like on track to be as big a star as Heather Locklear, but she was in like some sort of automobile accident where she got like
Maimed?
not maimed, but yeah, I think she broke her legs and like had back issues and stuff like that.
Oh, I
If
don't think
I'm
I
not
knew that.
mistaken.
That seems to be.
I loved her in Fall Guy. Fall Guy was one of my
I love
favorite TV shows because it had
Sure.
the Bionic Man and it had Heather Thomas. Like,
Yeah.
and
She's 62 and looks amazing. Still,
Dick York had back problems.
Sam. Exactly. I heard that. And Dick York also had health problems.
I think Dick York had back problems because of Heather Thomas. I'm not sure.
Well, this is what I remember. She was in a series Co-Ed Fever, and as she said, it was canceled after the third commercial. But then she was in the Fall Guy from 81 to 86.
What was
But
she in
then it
before that?
says-
Sorry.
It was called Co-Ed Fever.
That was
Wow.
after Fall Guy.
That was before. But
Oh,
then
before Fall.
she did Fall Guy for 5 years, and then says Thomas became addicted to cocaine during the program and entered
Yeah.
rehabilitation for the addiction in the mid 80s. She appeared in several movies, the first of which, Zapped, in 1982. She gave up acting in 1998. She appeared on numerous pinup posters during the 80s, of course.
She gave up acting in 1998. Acting gave up on her in 1991. But she gave up on it in 1998.
Yeah, I don't see an injury, sir. I do see the cocaine, which I knew
I
about.
did. I saw her in the mid 90s in a Planet Hollywood in LA and
In real life?
in real life.
Wow, really?
And and she looked awful. She looked
Awful?
like awful. She looked like she had done all of the cocaine. Like she had that sunken nose look, and it was it was bad actually. Bad enough. I didn't even go up to talk to her. And you know me, I see a celebrity, I usually like, can I get a picture? And I thought,
Mike did
nah,
the, whoop, I'm leaving.
I'm gonna pass on that.
Yeah,
She's still with us. She's 62.
yeah, it's I believe she's 62. Thank you.
She gave up an acting.
I said that earlier, but all right, no problem. Thank you, Scott.
Anthony, thank you. Thanks for letting us know that about York's back problem.
Yeah, I heard that. I forget where I
I'm
heard
pretty
that.
I'm pretty sure she was 62 or is.
She
I'm not
is
sure.
62.
I saw her in the Fall Guy special features because that's the kind of time I like to waste is watching.
I didn't know there was a Fall Guys.
I will not deny
I
that.
would watch that actually.
I
Wait,
think
are-
I
Are
don't
those
have the
on
box.
are those on the VHS on the extra
Yeah,
long
Disney Addicts.
VHS?
Yeah, exactly. No, I remember
Recording them now from Lifetime.
every now and then on YouTube they run like someone will post special features, and I remember
Ah.
seeing it there. And I mean that was interesting. It was a whole documentary behind the scenes, how everybody got cast and how Glenn Larson wanted to do it and everything, and Lee Majors. I'm so bummed. Mitch was trying to get Lee Majors and Lindsay Wagner for Terrificon this year.
Yeah.
And even before the pandemic, Lee Majors had a scheduling conflict and couldn't make it.
Wow.
Because I was like, I need to moderate that
Yeah.
panel. I really want to meet Lee
I was going to
Majors
moderate
and
that
Lindsay
with you too. I wasn't going to say anything, but just sit
I
there.
would.
Wagner. I'd like to
Moderate.
moderate Lindsay Wagner. Absolutely, man.
Hey,
She is still lovely.
Beautiful, yeah.
Good for her, man. Because she's not a young lady, but my God,
was
she is still lovely.
Amazingly sweet. Major,
That's cool.
not so.
No, Little Ornery?
Yeah, a little bit.
I just saw him recently on an episode of the new Magnum PI.
I thought that was canceled already.
I think Lindsay Wagner gave up on acting in 1978, I believe. Pretty
No.
sure.
She didn't do a whole lot afterwards, did she?
Post Bionic Woman. Well, she made a lot of money.
Wasn't she like a tennis pro or a teacher or something like that? I know she was a
That's
teacher in the
her-
show.
And a
Yeah,
tennis
I don't
pro
think-
on the show. She was a tennis
Yeah.
pro. on the show as well.
You gotta look her up too.
Crushes the tennis ball with her bionic arm,
Mhm.
Oh.
her bionic fist. Ow!
Which made Steve Austin wince.
The best was that original two-parter where she dies. Oh my God.
Oh,
It's heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
Wait,
And that was
she
the
died on the show?
Yeah, and then they and it's awesome because they made this amazing two-parter and it did monster ratings. And then network's like, hey, we want a series. It's like, but she died. And it's like, well, rewrite it and fix it. So literally in the opening first episode of Bionic Woman, there's like a doctor that's like, no, wait, we could save her and everything. And she's they revive her, but or maybe it was also still part of the $6 Million Man. But I know they revived her, but she lost her memory, so she didn't remember being
she
in love
remembered
with
Steve,
Steve
yeah.
Austin and everything. So it's like, oh. And then they made all those TV movies in the 80s into the early 90s, and the final one was called like Bionic Ever After,
yeah.
and
the
they
American.
finally get married. Yeah, so and that's
And the
and
Bionic-
mostly the impetus for all those movies was Richard Anderson, Oscar Goldman. And it's like, why don't we do another one? And they're all like, okay, we all love Richard Anderson. Let's do it for Richard. Okay, fine.
And
So
the
I love
Bionic
that.
Dog was in those episodes too.
Yes,
The Bionic Dog. I remember
Rex.
the And then
Rex was the Bionic Dog.
Sasquatch was Sasquatch, but then he was an alien Sasquatch, and then he was a robot Sasquatch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was very confused by those.
John Saxon was one of the aliens and Stephanie Powers, I believe, were the two aliens that ran
John
Sasquatch.
Saxon was an alien. I thought he was Maskatron.
Well, he was I think he did several roles on $6 Million Man. Maskatron, very good.
And remember the heartbreaking ballad by Lee Majors singing about Jamie Summers. Oh, Jamie. Oh, Jamie.
It's so bad. It is
Didn't he
so
sing?
bad.
Didn't he sing the song for Fall Guy too?
He did, but that's actually one of the greatest TV.
Yeah, it's cute. I mean, it's a country. It's him. It's a
tall building, so don't get hurt. I might leap a mighty canyon so he can kiss and flirt. While that guy's off kissing my girl, I'm off kissing dirt. Cause I'm the unknown stunt who makes a lover out of Bert.
Wow.
I love the Fall Guy. I have a Fall Guy board game. I have a Cold Seaver action figure. I love Fall Guy.
Cold Seaver action figure. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a die-cast action figure, and it came, and you could also buy the truck, but I couldn't afford the truck, so I just got the figure. But there was no other figure than him, so it didn't make sense.
Who played his sidekick? Who played the guy's sidekick?
There was no Heather Thomas figure. There was nothing.
No, but I'm saying who played the guy's sidekick on that show?
It's the same guy that played Enos in Dukes of Hazzard, I think.
No.
But it could have been.
No. He had that same look in the 70s with that blonde flipped hair they all had. What was his name?
He was almost Bruce Boxleitner.
Yeah.
Yeah, his name was Doug or something.
I'm gonna have to look this up now.
I think his name was Doug something.
I couldn't look at that while he was singing.
Acting gave up on him in 1984.
You couldn't do that while he was singing? Because we were all in stunned silence
Exactly.
because he was singing.
That was
Douglas
good.
Barr, possibly, because he's the
Douglas
second
Barr.
lead.
Yeah, I said Doug.
Yeah,
His name was Doug.
Attaboy.
That's
See?
it.
I know. I used to watch it every week, that show. I loved it.
Sure.
Lindsay Wagner, I had to look her up. She's still with us at age 70.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
man. I mean, she's lovely at 70. That's amazing. Good for her. Good for you.
Johnny, I believe she's 70. 70. I believe.
And she was the tennis pro on with the Bionic Woman, I'm told.
I
And a
was.
teacher.
I don't know if we've mentioned that.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
Oh, and of course, Marky Post. Boy, oh boy.
Marky Post.
Right, Mark Post took over.
Man, oh man.
She was on Night Court, but originally Billy, was her name Billy the blonde girl that was
There
on
was
before?
there was a previous
She was
blonde woman
she's
on the
the
show.
singer. I believe she's the singer in the video, if not on the album with Meatloaf for that song that
not Paradise by the
Alternative
Dashboard
Club?
Lights.
I think so. Yeah.
Might be able to do anything for love. Hold on, all right, I'm looking up.
No. She was in that one where and now I'm waiting for the end of time. Blah 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 blah.
No, that
Paradise by the
was a
Dashboard
that was a
Lights?
different woman. And it wasn't a blonde. I know. Yeah, you're thinking of.
She's in one of the
Paradise by
videos
Dashboard.
though.
All right, but not that one.
Okay, but I'm right. I know I am.
Well, I don't disagree with you. Oh wow, Night Court is on Prime, Amazon Prime to watch for free.
For free? No way.
I think so, or maybe not. No, maybe you have to
Oh.
buy it.
Yeah,
Or
come
rent or
on.
buy it.
I'd be watching
I was
it right now. I wouldn't be hanging out with you guys.
So Marky Post, here full cast.
Marky
'Cause,
Post.
Yeah, you're right about all that though, Francis. I know she's like Michael DeBar's, where like Mike. Oh, and by the way, there's a documentary that is being made about Michael DeBar's, who was like part-time rock singer, part-time actor.
Like Rick Springfield.
Yeah, but Rick was a real, he was actually successful, a little more successful in both fields. Ellen Foley, and yes, her character was Billy Young.
Yeah, see? I knew it
Very
was
good.
Billy.
Attaboy, Francis.
Come on.
I like Night Court, but to me, Night Court was poor man's Barney Miller because Reinhold Wedgie, great name, the creator, was a writer on Barney Miller before Night Court. And it just like Night Court tried a little too hard to be goofy. I like the kind of deadpan Barney Miller, wonderful, kind of sad reaction to everything bad that was happening and stuff. So
John
looking for
Larroquette
her
was
bio.
genius in Night Court, though. He
Yeah.
really was.
1 second.
Like John
Okay, Ellen
Larroquette.
Foley, soon to be, she's 69. She'll be 70 next year. She just had a birthday, June
You
5th.
hope.
Happy birthday, Marky Post, or Ellen Foley.
Marky Post.
I was
Um,
alive when Night Court was on.
Oh my God, Francis, I am
Scoop.
wrong again because she's not in the video, but she is the female singer on Paradise by the Dashboard Lights.
I told
Let me
you.
sleep on it.
Wow.
Well, again, I remember the video, and some other woman plays it in the video, but she also sings backup on Joe Jackson's Body and Soul, one of my favorite Joe Jackson albums, very jazzy. Her singing was featured on records by Blue Oyster Cult, The Clash, wow, the Iron City, House Rockers. I was like, Ian Hunter. Wow, I'm very
I don't know
impressed.
why you doubt me ever. I don't
Franco's right again.
I know. She released
Micro
3
Tunes.
albums on Epic. Night Out featuring Mick Ronson and Ian Hunter. Spirit
I
of St.
disagree,
Louis.
Jeff. I think it was very funny. Night Court was very funny, not almost funny.
I'm giving you more of her rock
Yeah,
credits. Spirit of St. Louis featuring her boyfriend at the time, Mick Jones of The Clash, and Another Breath. She is an accomplished Broadway performer. She's appeared in such diverse shows as Me and My Girl, Into the Woods, and Beehive.
Oh, Booster G. I'm sorry, I have to adamantly disagree with you. Barney Miller is one of the greatest heroes of all time.
Yeah.
He just said that Night Court was better than Barney Miller.
No, he's an idiot.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
But
Ron Glass.
It doesn't hold a candle to Night
oh,
Court.
guys, check this out. Did you guys know that Lindsay Wagner is 70 years old?
I heard that.
Sounds familiar.
Heather Thomas, I believe, is 62.
But
Gave up
listen, why would I lie to you about that? This noggin does not remember anything except useless information.
well, but I know I've seen the video, and I know she's not in the video because it's this very dark woman
said
that's in the video.
she was the singer and possibly in the video. I said one or the other. I couldn't remember which one.
Okay.
So
Well,
there. There.
Yeah, hey, like you said.
You know, that was very upsetting to me. So I think we need to take a commercial
Let's
break.
take a commercial break.
We'll
All
be right back.
back.
All right, we're back.
These are good.
That was tremendous.
Good.
You got something to drink? Everybody got something to drink? Because we gotta hydrate. Now, I want to ask you, in all seriousness, can you see them fine? Because for me, they're all choppy. Because on my end, when I play them, they're all choppy.
No,
I
they're
didn't
good.
notice it being choppy. The only thing is that we get that black bar that says, your microphone is muted. So some of the captions I couldn't read.
Oh, okay. Well, I think everybody else can read it, but
Oh yeah, no, the people, you see.
Is there anyone actually watching? Is the question.
I think
Frank
one
will
person
know.
might be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mark Lefevre is watching from Canada.
And Jeff.
So
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff Wakeland, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
Favorite.
Yeah, I can appreciate. Yeah, I'll be honest. Some of that water looked kind of urine-y to me. Urine is one of my favorite actors from the Ukraine. Urine. Yes, I just make new movie. It's called Solaris. People like. It's good.
Hey,
Oh,
Anthony
thanks,
from
Jeff.
Wisconsin.
All right, you're trying so good man. All right, there you go, Anthony. I'm glad you're wearing your mask in Wisconsin because some of your other statesmen are not.
That's one.
My buddies in Kenosha are wearing their masks as well.
Oh, okay.
They're,
Jeff
they're
says these new
masks.
ads are amazing. I'm going to put that one up.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had a lot of fun with those. So that we have
like-
more if you stick around. I figured
was
I would
good.
do more.
Happening with my hair. You'll forgive me. Go on.
I think I would. I like that he's
Down.
parting his hair
It's like-
from the center
It's
out.
like all this, I have this speed bump in the middle of my do.
It's like, hey,
as I was
hey,
telling Franco before
you
we
need to do
started, my hair's getting very Jacob Chabot. I'm almost at Jacob Chabot length. I'm getting there.
If you pull it straight down, you could have like a mo.
You mean
want
Mo?
a mo?
Yeah.
you
Why,
have
yo?
a mo.
Listen, great bed.
You remember
Hey, Mo.
Johnny and I were talking about this the other night. There was a comedian called Bobby Slayton, I think his name was,
Yeah,
and he had
absolutely.
this bit that almost killed me one day because I was watching him, and he does this bit where a guy goes, I think I think it might have been overseas, maybe China,
Yeah, I
like
think so.
Chinese. Yeah, it was a little off-color joke, but he goes, "What do they have like as far as barber shops? Do you go into a barber shop and they got a whole bunch of pictures on the wall and they go, you sit down and you go, whoa, what do you want, a mo or a mo? How about a mo? No mo? Pete Rose?
Pete Rose over there too. No, Bobby.
Nobody knows who Pete Rose is.
Bobby Slayton. He talks like this. I swear to God. And he was touring through Chicago, and he came to our sports radio station. Funny as hell. And he dropped off his CD. He's like, I swear to God, it's funny. I swear to God, it's funny. I know you don't know who I am, but I swear to God, it's funny. We're like, all right, whatever. And then we were going to Bears training camp, and we put it on while we were driving to Bannockburn to go watch the Bears in training camp and stuff. And he was right. It was funny. We're all crying, laughing. So, like, we called him up. We're like, you're right. Your disc is funny, man. You're awesome. He's in the Rat Pack movie they made in the 90s with Ray Liotta as Sinatra. He played Joey Bishop in that. And he just has he had a one episode part in Curb Your Enthusiasm, its most recent season, and he was part of a golf quartet with Larry and a couple of the regulars. And I'm like, oh, maybe he's going to replace Bob Einstein. Bobby Slayton's going to be on the show, and his character dies like halfway through the episode. I'm like, he would have been awesome on this show. That sucks, man. So,
who's Barney Miller? Sergio, you're young.
A featured character in your comic book, Sergio.
Yeah, I think you're 11 or 12, but you got some viewing to do, some catching up to do.
Yeah, it's called Google. Check it out.
Hey, I just want to point out how beautiful the sky looks through my window right now. I just want to point it out. It's beautiful. It's
you're still washed out just enough. Maybe you need to turn on a few more lights so we can't see you at all.
I tried to find on eBay one of those helmets with a light on top, like one of those miner helmets.
Yeah, like the miners.
Not easy to find, believe it or not.
Jay Leno, one of his great stories was of the weird comedy clubs he'd play across the country. He's like, I'm at this one place, it's called the Mine Shaft, and it was totally like a stripper club, and there were no house lights, but when you get in, they give you a miner hat, and you would like beam it towards the stripper and everything. And he's like, as soon as he would do comedy in between the strippers, and he's like, as soon as I came out on stage, all the lights went off. Nobody cared. But yeah, the Mine Shaft. But, everybody, put your hands together for Candy.
Put your lights together.
Tip your waitress. Exactly. Put your beams out. Put your high
Everybody
beams
get
out.
your hands off your mine shafts. Yeah.
My favorite stripper names. Not that I would know. Never.
So I got some things to talk about. Can I talk about some things?
Absolutely. Unless you want to go to a commercial, that's up to you.
Yeah. All right.
We can go to commercial if you want.
All right.
Wow.
Here's a commercial. We'll be right back. Okay. We're back.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
So, I like that he popped this video on just to come in and comment on that.
Oh my God, Johnny, where'd you go? You want to listen to my stories? It's a good story. So
I can listen to your story without actually having to look at you. Go on.
He's tired of looking at the windows.
First of all, I've been doing the podcast with you guys. I mean, the All Yeah podcast has been around for a long time, but I've become a series regular over, I don't know, the last year or so, and I love doing it with you guys. And as a result,
Are you quitting? What's happening? Oh,
no.
okay.
I'm asking for more money.
More money.
Contract negotiation.
More money.
I want double what I get now. Oh, wait. Anyhow, so as a result, in these very challenging times, very difficult times that we've been having, I have recently gotten a couple, as a result of this podcast, I have gotten some generous, amazing acts of kindness. So I want to talk about them. So first of all,
this isn't going to go well.
no, I'm being good serious. In the mail this week, I received two things in the mail this week. Right? One, I received this.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah,
Is that the Tiny Titans school bus dealie?
From San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. What is it? 2011, 2012?
Was it that long ago, Francis?
I can't remember.
Jesus Christ! It
Like
might have
that,
been.
I can't remember.
Wow.
I can't remember the fact that Billy sang on Meatloaf's album. That I can remember. This I can't remember.
And Artie did the
2012.
original art on that and everything.
Yeah, we wrote the story in the back and everything.
Oh, that's right. Look at that. Yeah.
And there's already.
Oh, I got to get one of those. That's
So
a good idea.
I never had, and they go for actually a decent bit of money. I've never.
Maybe not then.
My dear friends who created it didn't grab me one in San Diego, but that's besides the point.
Oh,
So-
dude. No.
I
You
didn't
don't
even
Mike,
get any.
you might remember it was impossible to get
was.
those. Those are the you had to camp out at like 6 a.m. and wait in line to get those. So I remember Artie having trouble that year. Like, I haven't got one yet. And it's like, you made the goddamn thing. What the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm.
So I mentioned on a previous podcast that how much I had wanted one and did not get one.
That's great, man.
And
That's awesome.
One of our viewers, Dan, I'm going to butcher his last name completely. Wisnowit?
Wisniewski.
Yeah. What'd you say?
Yeah.
Wisniewski.
Wisniewski.
WinskineWski. Dan sent me one. He reached out to Franco. He got my address, and he sent me one in the mail. And
That's awesome.
And I was having a really awful day, and this came in the mail, and I cannot thank Dan enough because it cheered me up tremendously.
That's awesome, man. That's
Thank
cool.
you
Listen,
very much.
when you get a chance, can you put it back in the box and send it back to him? Because he's only willing to do it.
It's just a show and tell. It's not a real gift.
Wow. So, but the second thing that came in the mail is thanks to Skoke. I cannot believe that I finally have it. Skoke, thank you, brother.
No way.
Oh,
Hold it still so we can read the title.
Look, it's
Hanging with the homies.
it's DJ
Air freshener.
DJ. So Skoke, I can't believe you sent this to me, man. That's awesome. Thank you. So
How could you not believe it? You begged for it.
lost my mind. What?
I said, how could you not believe it? You begged for
Yeah,
it for
really,
like
man.
the last
Jesus
11
Christ.
episodes.
I
know.
lost my mind. I opened this up and I was like, what is this? It was a little tiny box. I opened this up and it was all this paper and I pulled it out. I was like, oh, Skoke. You're the best, Skoke. Thank you.
It's a good item.
Very
I'm
nice.
the proud owner of the DJ Jazzy Jeff air freshener. The scent is summertime, and it says tired of that tree swinging from your rear vision. Time to start hanging with the homies. Perfect for riding along in your Jeep or your Benzo or in your Nissan sitting on the Renzos. Freshen up with jazz so you can go back to chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, shooting some b-ball outside of the school. Right there.
Wow.
Thanks, so much, brother.
I have a confession to make.
Yes.
It wasn't me who sent that.
What are you talking about, man? You're the one who had this.
I know.
Isn't this the same one?
That's it. But
Okay.
Oh no, we've got dueling air fresheners.
What do you mean?
Well, clearly he's going to come out and bring it to you. You don't need to be Agatha Christie to figure that out, Megan. I don't know how to break it to you there,
And
man.
who sent it? I've never seen one except for Stokes.
What name did you have on the return address? Mr. X?
I didn't. I mean, the box is right there. I could look.
How do you know there wasn't Anthrax that somebody sent you? I mean, there's no name.
It doesn't say sent anthrax. It says sent.
Anthrax.
Anthrax.
Opium Anthrax. I'm a big fan of
It
that.
says actually in parentheses coconut.
All right, dueling. Bring it up, Mike.
I couldn't find it.
Oh,
Exactly. Exactly, because you sent it, man. What do you mean? Who else? I've never seen this in my entire life. We talk about it every week. How could it not come from you?
No, I really did consider sending it to you. I was going to do it. I was going to ask Franco for your address, and I was going to send it to you because I knew how much you liked it, but I never got around to it. So I really don't know where this came from.
yeah, I'll take a pass down, but thank you. That's all right. I don't need my car to smell like summertime. That's all right.
You're the only person. Even that night, we Googled it and I couldn't find it. Remember? It's like, listen, I got to Google this. And
I think you have issues, and I agree with Rob.
Thank you, Robert.
We don't
That's
know-
what I
we don't
asked.
know how the
Exactly.
mail works.
You know,
'Cause you can read-
I'm gonna look. Hold on, I got the box right here. I'm gonna look right now. Hold
I
on,
got the
Right.
box right here. His name.
I
is
got the
over
box right here. Hold
Get
on.
it over here, and let's.
I got
There he goes.
let's read
It's
it out
again
loud.
on his laptop's on suspension strings. There you go, Peter. The Peter Pan setup for the laptop. Seriously, man.
Oh,
Good
man.
Lord. And once again, let's get the Klieg light going.
I should have went to commercial, but
Yeah.
I think we have a Mike Norton mystery on our hands.
we
Jimmy, I don't know what happened. He got a freshener. Looks like Jazzy Jeff. You see.
It probably
Every
sounds
one of
like
my
Jazzy Jeff,
invitations.
too.
It ends with you see. I realized because I was going to talk about I'm reading a Jimmy Stewart biography. You see.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Hold on. Zuzu's
I'm
pedals.
covering my address, but there's no return address.
Okay, that's kind of creepy.
Opening like that Seinfeld where Uncle Leo opens the package and it blows. It so blows.
Skoke, come on, man.
I'm serious. I'm gonna go back and look. I'm gonna find it.
Dude,
Uh,
because you sent it to me.
God damn it, those lights.
You could just say
Good Lord.
it's a very generous thing. I was so excited.
Maroon.
So
And I don't mean the
excited.
color.
I'm excited that you have it, but I wish I could take credit for gifting it to you, but I can't take credit.
I don't know. Who else would- who else-
I like watching Negan's head
who else
explode right
would
now.
then?
If anyone out there knows who sent the DJ Jazzy Jeff air freshener to Mighty Mike Nagan, please write in to the Oh Yeah
We
podcast.
should do this.
Yeah,
How about
yeah.
a Barney,
I would buy
Barney
a
Miller
Barney Miller
fish air freshener?
I would buy that.
You probably have one.
I wish.
You're going to
I
get
have
one
a
in the
Barney
mail
Miller
next
for
week.
you.
My car smells like Abe Vigoda. Thank you. That'd be great. Yeah. Hello, Bonnie.
Before or after he did the series Fish?
Okay, wait, hold on, pause.
I
Franco,
can't pause for live.
Dan reached out to you and got
Wisniewski.
my address. So
Yeah.
somebody must have reached out to you and got my. You're the only one who knows my address.
I'm the only one that knows where you live, and I did not give it out to anybody but Dan.
Wow. What?
Nope, I didn't do it. It wasn't me.
Skoke.
If it wasn't you,
got a
Guess
Mike
what?
Norton
Nobody gives a
mystery.
shit. Move on to another subject. Good fucking Lord.
Ooh,
You
listen, there's
stumped
11-year-olds.
us. It's
Come
a
on now.
mystery. Move on. Good Lord. Dumbass. Gee, I don't know. Well, what could it be? I'm not really sure. Let me argue with myself.
You
and
wouldn't
see.
be surprised if somebody sent it to you.
No, you know
So
something? I
something-
wouldn't give a flying fish.
It
Bonnie.
was a very magnanimous gesture.
I
This is
understand.
the part of the
I understand,
the
but
podcast
again,
where
I understand. You ponder it on your own time, okay? Sherlock, good Lord. Columbo, turn off the light.
it's,
guys,
Dumbass.
this
while
is
I was-
where Johnny yells at people.
there it is.
I promised myself that I wasn't going to cry, but I am. Look at him. Look at him. Seriously. Moron. Maroon. Hi, Wayne. Let me change the subject. Hi, Wayne.
Guys, while I was looking for my DJ Jazzy Jeff air freshener, I found this.
Oh,
Is
jeez.
that Mike Wazinski?
This is the Jewel Osco mascot.
Oh, my God.
The Jewel Osco is a local grocery company. Apparently, his name is JoJo.
What is JoJo? A drop of blood?
Jojo, the one-eyed snake,
I'm
apparently.
not sure. he has feet and arms, and this arm is permanently sewn to his head, so he can't move it. I don't know why. He's saying
This makes me wanna
hello.
shop there. Look
Like
at
why? What? I don't understand.
I don't need
And,
it.
and let me
I don't
ask
need
you
it.
this, because it'll piss Johnny off. Where did you get this? Who sent it to you?
Oh, it was a gift.
It was a gift from who? Was it there a return? A
There was no
return address?
return. It's a mystery. It was a mystery.
I like
Should we talk-
JoJo.
Should we talk more about it?
I think
Exactly.
so.
Could we spend another 20 minutes on it?
I don't want to talk about it anymore now.
Good.
No,
God.
like,
I think we should find out who did it.
Yes!
It's just,
You know, Heather Thomas is 62.
She had a cocaine problem too in the
Yeah,
Lindsay Wagner sent it to you.
She's
I
69.
wish.
she's
Billy
70.
Piper. Billy Piper 69. That's right. All right.
Billy Piper, wasn't she the one from the Doctor Strange? Not Doctor.
Oh, that's
Who.
right. That's Billy Piper. What's her name? Billy
I think it was Doctor Who.
Billy Eyelash.
Billy is no, she's not Billy Eyelash either. I like Billy. I like her parakeet hair.
Oh, the multicolors?
Yeah. She's got like blonde up top and then brunette real fast on the bottom, real hard. What's her name again? Ellen Foley.
Oh, nobody cares.
Exactly. Yeah, but you know something? I managed to do that whole mystery in 60 seconds, unlike the 15 that we spent on the Jazzy Jess mystery. Jesus Christ.
Robert says at least JoJo's not purple, but that depends on how hard you squeeze him.
He looked like Monsters Inc. guy, Mike Wazinski or whatever his name is.
I did say Billie Eyelash. That's her name, isn't it? Billie Eyelash. It's true.
Guys, I have a confession to make. Before we started potting, I ate half of this box of Sour Patch Kids. I don't feel right.
Maybe you should
Night on the
hydrate.
can tonight, buddy. I'm sorry.
I don't.
Get a T-shirt and go into the bathroom.
Why a tea? Oh.
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 Well, I don't know. Oh.
No.
Yikes.
Yeah.
No.
You ever, Skokie, ever go to that one candy shop in Andersonville? Yeah, I'm ignoring you. That they have all the cool vintage candy and stuff in it and everything.
Is it still there? I
Why would you
remember
wanna
it.
eat
I
vintage
hope it
candy?
survives the pandemic. I don't know. I haven't been there since the lockdown, but and I haven't gone since last summer actually. But I know it's like a popular destination in Andersonville.
I remember that, and I do recall.
Johnny, that's the stupidest thing I ever heard of. Who would want to eat vintage candy?
Exactly. I'm
Does
having a
it all
Mary Jane from
expired?
1922. Whoa.
Yeah.
So
Here's a Mike and Ike from 1959.
exactly. I know which one's which.
Old baseball packs.
Oh, I did that one time. I ate the gum out of an old pack of baseball cards. That was a terrible mistake. It was awful. As soon as I started eating it, it turned to dust.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when you know it's good.
That was
I mean,
a bad idea.
It used to have the consistency of like chewing tar. I mean, it really was like the toughest gum ever.
Do you guys, as kids, probably not Johnny because he never had any fun
I
as a
was
kid,
never a
but
child. No, I
um,
was born with it. Go ahead.
but you ever take a whole pack of bubble gum, like Hubba Bubba or whatever, and just try and stuff the whole package in your mouth?
Yeah, get
Yeah.
big bubbles. Yeah,
Big
of course.
bubbles, yeah. It hurt.
Sure.
It
Bubble
hurt.
yum. I like bubble yum. Bubble yum was like when we were having like designer bubble gum back then. Like it went from like Bazooka and Topps baseball card bubble gum to all of a sudden, ooh, it's bubble yum. And then they
Juicy
have the one that had the gross kind of sugary splotch in the middle and everything that would like gush when you bit into it.
Oh,
Bubble yum?
No.
No, it was another gum. It was another gum that had that like kind of.
Yeah,
It was almost like good. I'm glad Mike honestly knows. It was like
I do. I don't remember what it's called.
it was like syrupy, almost mouthwash. It was like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it was like a
bad.
breath. It was like a fresh kind of minty like
Yeah.
something, but it was really gross. It was not attractive.
Big League Chew. That was delicious.
Big League. It's one of my favorite like out of nowhere non sequiturs on Family Guy. You know what I miss? Big League Chew.
Do they still have that?
I don't know. I hope so.
I hope so.
Because it was a nice like tobacco. Honestly, I knew a lot of ball players that like actually did chew it instead of tobacco and stuff.
Oh, really? Because
Because
it was
that's
all
why they made it.
shredded. It
Yeah.
was all shredded.
Yeah, it was like chewing tobacco.
Which was the
Gushers.
which was the
Freshen up. Thank you. Exactly. Boosters got it. Freshen up. That's exactly what it was called. Bubblicious was the
That's-
bubble
yeah.
yum.
what was the one with
that was the other
with
designer
the
bubble
zebra?
gum, Bubblicious.
The zebra.
Huh?
What was the one with the zebra? Fruit stripe gum.
Fruit stripe gum, sure.
Oh,
That's
what it
old.
was?
Sure.
That gum lasted all of 1.8 seconds before it was.
Yeah. It'd be out of flavor, yeah.
Bubble tape. That was another
Yeah,
one.
bubble tape, sure.
Came in the roll.
Yeah, teaching. Well, exactly. But Robert, honestly, I know a lot of former dippers that would then switch to Big League Chew. So
You know what's really amazing to me? Is
Heba Hubba gum.
yeah. You know what's really amazing to me is that
Sounds like something Bill Cosby would actually promote. Heba Hubba gum, you see.
There was a magician from Chicago named Heba Hubba Al. That's a true story.
I don't think that's a real thing.
Maybe it's his guy. I don't know. That's a truth. That's real. I went to the Chicago Magic Lounge. Have you seen that, John? Have you been there? Heard of that, Johnny?
No, tell me about it, please.
The Chicago Magic Lounge. It's like a well, it's like a magic show, in the beginning, everybody's sitting at these tables, and they have magicians come around to the tables individually and do tricks for you with cards and with
Close-up
whatever
magic.
dental
It's
floss.
awesome.
And
Nothing
Yeah.
better than close-up magic. It's awesome.
it was fun. It was good. And then they have like the main act come out and do a thing. But before the main act came out at the show I went to, there was a host who came out, and she explained that she was trained by the great Heba Hubba Al, some magician from Chicago. That was his name, Heba.
And she was able to loosen the shackles and escape.
All right.
Yeah, apparently.
Did
See,
There
I
you
knew
go.
it. I knew
all
it.
right, very good. I like that. Now there is a different Chicago magician, and I want to know if the New York guys. Do you remember? You guys remember a product called TV Magic Cards?
TV magic cards.
Well, I can only tell you in the Midwest, they were a magician's deck of cards where 20 ace of spades. So yeah, is your card the ace of spades? Oh, it is. Ooh. I mean, it really was just a regular magician's trick deck. But Marshall Brodeen, this great Chicago magician that goes back to Riverview, the old thing, and he was Wizzo on Bozo Circus.
Wizzo.
Yeah, that was the name of. I know, great name.
Doody
Exactly.
doody do.
He used to exactly that was his thing, duty do, and he he always had to go to the bathroom, Wizzo. But yeah, he took this magician's prop, this deck, turned it into a thing called TV Magic Cards, and seriously made a fortune on that. I have heard Penn Jillette rave about Marshall Brodeen. He's like, Marshall Brodeen, he is a god among magicians because he figured out this way to make money on the dumbest thing. See, there you go. Yes, those were awesome. I had them as a kid. They were they used to be at like Jewel Osco and like little
Well, that
drugstores
explains
and stuff.
a lot.
So yeah,
About
with JoJo.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know for sure.
But and also, do you know the magic shop, Skoke, that's on Lawrence in Lincoln Square?
know,
It's
Wade,
right by
maybe.
it's right by the Metro stop and everything in Lincoln Square.
No, I'm familiar with the Pleasure Chest,
Ooh,
Hot, yes.
so am
that-
I.
but
Oh,
that
wait,
this
we
is not the
talked
same thing. I have not heard of this magic store though. No.
Yeah, there's an actual like magic store with props and tricks and stuff like that. Again, I hope it survives the pandemic because shops like that.
Well, and I hope the Pleasure Chest survives the pandemic.
I want you to stop saying pleasure chest.
Sorry.
Skoke, I
just wanna
can't
tear
take
you apart.
anything you say anymore. You sit on a throne of lies. I can't believe anything you say anymore.
No, that's just the toilet next to Jeff Goldblum.
Blinded by the light. It's gonna be our
What's
song
the
every
next
day.
line? What is the next line?
Wrapped up like a deuce, another roller in the night.
Doesn't sound like Deuce.
I
No, that's not
understand.
the
Those
original. That's not the original lyrics either. Well, that's the original lyrics, and then it was changed by Man for Man
So
Nope.
what?
to the other thing you're thinking of.
douche.
Yep.
Sounds like douche.
He says it in the other
Is that a
version.
dirty word? What's wrong with you?
He says it. There's nothing wrong with me. I didn't want to say it. Shut up, Johnny.
Well, he's
I
like
gotta
looking
be-
like, oh my god, you said a terrible word. I'm like,
I gotta be.
say douche.
I said the other word.
They report it. They sell them on TV.
They
Summer's
sell them
Eve.
at the pleasure chest.
Oh, I've never heard of the pleasure chest. Thanks, Anthony. I appreciate that.
Happy breath.
Franklin, would it be better for Skoke to say happy breast?
Pleasure
I
chest.
don't know. I don't know.
Is
I
this a
guess.
chest? If you know your beast or your jerky boys.
I had a problem with douche, so maybe yeah.
Why?
It'd be
Why would
worse.
you have a problem with douche? You're a man. Hey now.
Well, I have a. But that's why I had a problem with it. It wasn't for me, and I used it
exactly,
incorrectly.
Robert. Robert knows. Just listen to the Springsteen version.
Yeah.
You can't understand any of the words in the Springsteen.
That's his charm. Anybody? All right. Who else has seen Springsteen live?
On TV.
What
No,
did
I
they
mean
make?
in person.
No,
No?
Springsteen. No,
No.
no.
I
Saw
couldn't
the
afford
Tunnel
the
of
tickets.
Love tour back in the '80s at Market Square Arena in beautiful Indianapolis.
What the hell is it with you guys? Tunnel of Love, Pleasure Chest.
That was the name of the
what's going on?
album. You
Oh,
remember that
oh.
album? That was after Born in the USA.
Okay, here's a trivia question for you. Name my favorite Bruce Springsteen song.
Dancing in the dark.
No,
With
Pink
Courtney
Cadillac.
Cox.
Yeah,
Courtney Cox. No, yeah, she's my favorite, but not the song.
that's a good video. It isn't Glory Days, is it?
No, You would think.
10th Avenue Freeze Out.
No. It's a good one, but no.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
You'll never guess. Radio Nowhere. Thank you. Thank you all for playing. You're all
very
wrong.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I like 57 channels and nothing's on.
Yeah. Ooh, so you know the song.
That's a different one, isn't it?
I know.
Just checking. No, I mean, Springsteen's. I love Springsteen. He's a good dude too.
Wayne,
Wow, Wayne.
you've never taken me. You've been there 9 times.
Wayne's theme song's that Johnny Cash song. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Exactly. Who's zooming?
Yeah,
who?
thank you,
Good
Booster
Lord.
G.
Crap.
Thank you.
Crap.
Absolutely.
Hey, Aretha, make an album for me. Okay. There you go. There's a double album for you. All right. I had a big breakfast today. Hold on a second.
Hey, how many of us have
Fire's a
seen?
fun song.
Ooh, Thunder
Thunder
Road.
Road's a good song. Absolutely.
Oh, Mario,
Yeah, that's what I
man.
said, Mario. Pink Cadillac. Show Mario your commercial.
Oh, Mario, you missed it. I got one. I got one just for you.
By
We'll be right
special
back.
request.
We'll be right back. Watch this, Mario. This is all for you. There you go. That was just for you. Ooh, Mike has been replaced with DJ Jazzy Jeff, and we lost Skoke. That was awesome. Love that.
I like it. It reminds me of like old David Letterman bumpers. That one in particular. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there he is.
Look at that.
Oh, we're back to. All right, let's get back to this conversation, please. Let's have another half hour now.
Whoa. Let's just do this for 15 minutes. Let's just go. Whoa.
So wait a minute.
Whoa.
Wait a minute. Just to get this straight.
Or DJ Jazzy Jeff's Kiss or something. They know the wrong way.
But just to get this straight, you did not send that to him, and you don't know who gave it to you. Just to rehash everything again.
I swore that
I just did that to make Johnny's head shake.
Now that's cool. No, the school bus of Tiny Titans.
Hey, what's behind the bus?
Oh, it's funny.
Oh, man.
All right. So what else happened this week, fellas?
No, that's okay, Don. I'll take a pass. That's all right.
whoever sent this to me,
Drop it up in
let
my.
me know.
I get
wanna know who
curbside
sent
service from Skoke if you wanted to be, get rid of his and give it to me.
No, hear me out here. What if that one came from Mike Norton? What if? Huh? Johnny.
Does Mike Norton watch these?
No.
No.
And once again, the conversation grinds to a halt because of stupidity. Dumbasses. Good Lord.
We're talking about Mike Norton.
Then we can dig it.
All right. So listen, how about that golf game with Tiger Woods and Tom Brady? How'd that go? Anybody know? Anybody watch
I didn't
it?
watch it. I wasn't
Yeah.
aware.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I'm watching Korean baseball.
Oh, I saw something about Korean baseball. They put up posters of people in the stands, but now they started putting plushies up, like Pokemon plushes in the audience.
Like body pillows?
I think so.
I heard it was a different kind of a doll.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
they had
and-
a couple weeks ago. Yeah, they had sex dolls in the stands, life-size sex dolls, and the sex dolls had masks, and it's like they're sex dolls. They don't need masks. It's okay.
You don't want to get COVID on your sex doll.
Thank you for that public service message from Mike Hagan, everybody.
Maybe it was a special kind of sex doll.
For you youngsters out, let me be Steve Stone for a second. For you youngsters out there, here's a tip: don't get COVID on your sex doll. Hey, thank you, Stone Pony. Once again, live from Apollo 13. James Lovell joining us. That was awesome, by the way, last Saturday. Good Lord, the SpaceX launch. Did you guys watch that?
Didn't watch it, no.
How do you not watch a space? My God, that's amazing.
We
I'm not honestly.
We had planned to watch it. We actually had planned to watch it, but then when you have 3 kids,
No, life gets in the way. I understand, and
go
it was
off the rails, and the next thing it's like, oh, that was 3 hours ago. We missed it.
It was obviously it's on it. You can catch it on YouTube or whatever. It was incredible. It was so cool. And I mean, I sadly being as old as I am and stuff, I remember original Apollo launches and stuff. The moon land. I was 4 when they landed on the moon, and my parents made sure I knew exactly what was happening. They're like, "Look at that! You see that thing up there? Yeah, that's the moon. Yeah, those people are walking on it right now. Wow."
Why don't we go to the moon anymore?
Now we're about to again, because again it was too.
Are
It's
they
been
really
done.
going to go to the moon again?
That's the plan.
Oh, I didn't know that. I really
yeah. The plan is
That's why
like,
NASA
build
gave
a
up.
moon- build a moon base and construct in space a ship to go to Mars eventually.
because like it's been a very long time, and I understand
50 years.
but the technology, like there's more technology in this phone than was in the rocket that sent them to the moon.
Did you guys see there was a picture of the 68 or 69 dashboard for the spaceship that they used, and then the shuttle dashboard, and then did you see the SpaceX dashboard?
No.
All touchscreen. There was not a button to be seen, and the Challenger one had like it was like the cockpit of 747. There's buttons everywhere, but this was all glass, all touchscreen. It was nuts. Look up the picture; it's crazy.
That's awesome. I'd love to see that. I also loved for last year when it was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, they recreated what Mission Control looked like in 1969, like even ashtrays and coffee cups and stuff like that. It was hilarious, but it really was this awesome, wow, that's amazing. And also the American Experience, the great public television documentary series, they had like a 3 or 4 part thing on the entire history of the space program of I should say from pre-Mercury to Apollo, to the end of Apollo. And that's amazing. And the footage they have is just incredible. There aren't that many of the original Apollo astronauts left. Buzz Aldrin, James Lovell. I struggle to think of anybody else. I mean, Frank Borman has passed away. Neil Armstrong passed away. Michael Collins, I believe, is still alive, the 3rd man on the moon landing. Gene Cernan might still be alive, the last man on the moon. Apollo 16.
Oh, we lost Franco.
Anyway.
Isn't there something
Not a
called
big loss.
Buzz Aldrin, maybe 10 years ago, maybe even a little longer, he did a children's book about the moon and whatnot. And I took my kids to meet him in the city. I was like, we're gonna go meet a man who's walked on the moon. Like, he's been on the moon. We gotta go. And we went, and I loved it.
Oh, he's amazing. I am a huge fan of Space 1999 Booster G. In fact, there's a channel like Pluto on Roku called Stir, STIRR. I think I've talked about it before. And they have a channel that just constantly runs the 2 seasons of Space 1999 over and over again. They have one for Wise Guy and a few other shows like that. But I watched one like 2 or 3 nights ago. And it's not a great show. It's very slow, but the look of it, the aesthetic of it, and the models that Jerry Anderson made for that show was just amazing. Moonbase Alpha, yeah. And the premise, as Booster put up there, yeah, like there's like a nuclear atomic waste pile on the moon that ignites. And I mean, this would never happen from a scientific physics standpoint, but it pushes the moon out of Earth's orbit and it is hurtling through the galaxy. So they are they can't stop the moon, and it goes out of Earth's orbit. And the people it's what's his face? It's Barbara Bain and the guy from Martin Landau. Yeah. They were married. They were married. Yes. And yeah, it's I mean, I think it's a great show. And Barry Morse, who played Inspector Gerard on the original Fugitive with David Jansen, he's the scientist.
I believe it's pronounced the Fugitive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Tonight's episode.
I'm thinking about this. Mike, you've met someone who landed on the moon and someone who landed on the Planet of the Apes.
And someone that was up Uranus. Now what?
Oh, come on now.
Did you ever see the video of Buzz Aldrin where that reporter who tried to make him admit that it was a conspiracy?
He wasn't a reporter, but he was he was a moon denier.
Whatever it was. And he just knocks that dude out. Oh my God, so funny.
It's awesome. That, and I loved when he was a guest star on 30 Rock, and he's yelling at the moon. And he's like, I've walked on your face. I own you. He's screaming at the moon. And at the end of the show, Tina Fey's like, you want to yell at the moon with me? She's like, yeah, why not? I've walked on your face.
That's awesome.
Good stuff. I was really happy that Neil Armstrong, before he passed away, kind of ended his silence and gave a few interviews and stuff. Because that guy, seriously, his real story, that you might have seen First Man, that Ryan Gosling movie that they made a couple of years ago. He's amazing. I mean, he could have died 2 different times before the moon landing in other, like in a Gemini.
Because wasn't he supposed to be in the? He was supposed to be in the capsule that burned up, right? That he was switched out or something like that, or
not at all. Because he was that was Gus Grissom. No, he was not supposed to be part of that. But a Gemini thing prior to that, it was him, and I forget who the second astronaut were. They were doing docking, so the whole thing was to rendezvous with a different like ship and dock. And when they separated, one of their retros was out of control and it was spinning, and it literally kept spinning. And if they weren't able to correct it, they could have passed out and died in space.
That's right.
And
you know what? Oh, go ahead, finish up.
I was going to say, and so he fixed that. The other time was they had this prototype that was like the lunar module, but it was called like the flying bed spring because it literally was like this platform with a pilot's chair and a couple booster rockets that he would have to like navigate to be able to like soft land on the moon. But they were testing these on Earth, and one of the engines exploded, and 5 seconds before it exploded, he knew something was wrong, and he hit the ejector. And they have film footage of it, and it looks dangerously close that he could have still been in the fireball of that thing exploding, but he ejected at the right time. Wow. So I mean, this guy was seriously, what an amazing life and what an amazing astronaut career.
I was going to say, there's that Tom Hanks series about
From the Earth
to the Moon. I love that series. Yeah,
it's amazing.
I don't know if it's still on HBO or not.
Well, I bet it is, and I would be shocked.
That's where it originally aired. Right.
The only thing that sucks is, and they even made a new Blu-ray. They didn't put it in HD, and it's like, oh man, you should have really. My God, I mean, that's just. I mean, that begs. I mean, I'm sure it's expensive, but it begs to be in HD. I don't know, but it's a great show.
Well, they have that.
Yeah, you're right, Jeff. They are real superheroes, absolutely, man.
His entire career was life-threatening. Like he went to the moon. Yeah. He could have died at any minute during that whole thing.
That's what I mean, man. Yeah, no, it's amazing, and that's what I'm saying. Like he cheated death twice before that, even so. And Wayne is right. The Right Stuff, the Philip Kaufman movie, that's incredible, and the effects are like so shoestring cheap. And that's another one you should watch, the behind-the-scenes stuff. Philip Kaufman was able to do these amazing effects, and literally like one of the, there's Chuck Yeager and flying supersonic jets as well as the moon stuff and the space stuff in general. But one of the supersonic jet scenes, it literally is a model on a string, much like Negan's laptop, and they're literally pulling it across the sky, and you'd have no idea that's how they achieved the effect and everything. It was amazing.
That was a great cast of that movie too.
Fred Ward, Ed Harris, Scott Glenn,
Sam Shepard,
right, as Yeager, Dennis, Dennis Quaid,
yep.
God, what's his face from Millennium?
Lance
Hendrickson. Lance Hendrickson plays Wally Schirra, and has no lines, but it is Lance Hendrickson. Yeah, it's pretty amazing, man. Yeah. And it's a great book. The Tom Wolfe book is incredible that it's based on.
I have a funny astronaut story. So a couple of these guys do the show circuit. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the astronaut on it. Hey, Scoot's back. So at one of the shows, there was an astronaut. His name was Richard Seafrost. I don't know if you guys are familiar. He was on a few shuttle missions, right? Space shuttle missions. So my buddy Frank, who is a huge NASA guy, huge, astronaut guy, I said, I'm going to the show. There's going to be an astronaut there. His name's Richard Seafrost. And he's like, the guy on the shuttle? I go, yeah. that guy's not a real astronaut. He goes, he's a glorified airplane pilot. I go, what do you mean? He goes, he drove on the shuttle. He barely got into space. He goes, he's not an astronaut. So I'm like, this guy,
Wow.
space, Frank, what are you talking about? He's like, barely. He barely touched the edge of space. He's not an astronaut. He was very adamant, and he starts going on about Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. These are real astronauts. They strap rockets to their ass and flew themselves to the moon. And so I was like, all right, man. So I go to the show. He doesn't come to the show. I go to the show. And I'm seeing whoever the B-level celebrities, and then I run across Seafrost, and I'm like, I'm gonna go talk to this guy. I want to know his story. So I go talk to him, and I was young. Not young.
I know the ending of this story. He sent you an air freshener, I believe, but go ahead.
No. I was probably like 22 or 23. So, you say stupid shit. So he's telling me his whole life story, and I'm like, hey, listen, man, my buddy, who's a huge NASA guy, he told me you weren't a real astronaut.
You told him that.
I don't know what I was
Did he
thinking,
punch
man.
you?
I didn't to this day.
My friend says.
So I told him, I said, but listen, I want to buy a picture from you, and I want you to dedicate it to him, and I'm going to give it to him. So he wrote on the picture, to Frank, I am a real astronaut, Richard D. Frost, and I gave it to him. So
Wow.
I've got the list of the living astronauts of the Apollo program. Of the 12 men that walked on the moon, only 6 are still alive. No, and actually, this is old because Alan Bean has since passed away, and I don't know if Jack Schmidt is even still alive. But Buzz Aldrin, Dave Scott, John Young, and Charles Duke, and those are the ones. So maybe yes, so Gene Cernan has passed away. Wow. And then of the pilots that commanded the command module but didn't actually walk on the moon, Dick Gordon, Michael Collins, Al Warden, and Ken Mattingly are still alive. But yeah, there you go. So that's amazing. But yeah, I wonder again because I know Al Bean passed away in the last year or so. He was on Apollo 12. Yeah. And by the way,
name, though.
What's that?
Al Beam's not a real name, though.
Al Bean, not Beam. Bean.
Yeah, Bean.
Yeah, no.
Hey, Bean.
That's
Like,
like
yeah,
the best.
Like that.
That's my
actor
favorite
Bean.
episode. That's my favorite episode of From the Earth to the Moon. Dave Foley is in that episode, and he plays Al Bean, and it's like okay, like they're the second guys that made it to the moon. It's like, all right, it's been done, whatever, and it's very funny. It's a good episode. They're very funny.
I said it correctly. It's like that actor, Scene Bean.
Yes, Scene Bean. I'm a big fan of Scene Beans.
Mm-hmm.
I like
He
him
died
in
for
The
everything.
Martian. He's awesome in The Martian.
Which one?
Scene Bean.
Which Martian?
The movie with Matt Damon.
Never
My
seen
favorite
Damon.
Martian.
Yeah. Hello, Tim. Uncle Martin.
Did you guys talking about Space Force? Is that why you're talking about this?
Yes, that's right.
it. Oh,
Yes.
No,
I
the
saw the
Netflix,
first episode.
the show.
I saw the first episode. Could
Mhm.
not
I
get
like
through
it. I like it, but it's
I'm on the 5th episode. I just keep going because I'm thinking of it like The Office or Parks and Rec. These shows that started out rough and then they got really good. So I'm hoping that's what happens.
learn how to spell, Booster. Thanks for playing.
Wow.
Did you ever see the interview with Buzz Aldrin about and it was an old interview. I think it was from the 70s or the 80s, where he gets real. Either he's had a couple in him, or it's like I don't know if it was Carson or something.
A couple of what in them.
He gets real morose, and he's like, my whole life is kind of. I don't know the exact words he says, but he's like, my whole life is off the rails because the basic idea is I walked on the moon. What else am I supposed to do with my life? Like
There's a
divorce.
I can't remember.
There's
There's a novel.
Yeah.
There's a novel that's like based on that premise as well. I can't remember the name of it, but Rob Burnett was telling me about it, and he's mentioned it a few times on his YouTube show as well. And it sounds amazing. And yeah, I mean, how do you top that? And is there a feeling of detachment? I mean, that's why I really like the end of The Martian. To me, The Martian's
Spoilers.
it's
I haven't seen
it's
it.
one of
Yeah.
the best. It's one of the best space movies ever.
Wow.
And just when he why you haven't seen it, Francis?
No, I said it like 5 times. I haven't seen it.
I'm amazed. It's a great movie.
I
It's
haven't
funny.
seen it
It's
either,
really
Jack.
entertaining.
Thank you, Scoot.
Well,
Yeah,
that doesn't
someone's
surprise
on
me,
my side.
because your headset says it all. Really.
Man. All right, Scoot's chewing too loud, so we're going to go to a commercial. We'll be right back.
I never said that. Very
All
nice.
right, we're back. Thank you.
Where'd you get the music, Francis? Once again, not paying attention, you sir. Where'd you get the music?
I was.
from?
It makes me laugh. It's in this program, the editing program that I have.
Cool.
So it comes with a whole bunch of stuff. So
Excellent.
awesome.
I have some beds like that as well, but I am considering getting more for some of the projects that I want to do. Because it's
But,
you can get a
before you
decent
go-
library reasonably priced.
yeah, before you go any further, Fox and Evil is going to be on Comixology this Wednesday.
Oh,
and
cool.
it's 99 cents for 10 pages. So it'll come out sort of semi regularly, maybe.
Irregularly, kind of like me in the bathroom. Irregularly, all right.
No, I think we'll be
Let me
more
take a
regular.
T-shirt and go in the bathroom. Hold on a second.
You got Zach
Grab a
Atkinson-
glove and go in the bathroom.
You got Zach Atkinson doing the colors. I like that dude. He's a good dude.
I like Zach a lot. He does all my colors. I go to
It
him.
looks
Bernie.
great, man.
Weekend at
Yeah.
Bernie's.
Gotta.
Major Tom. That's
Major
right.
Tom.
My mom them said to get things done, you better not mess with Major Tom.
I didn't see Major Tom either.
You guys ever hear about that space plane? Hear about that?
Space plane. No, what's that?
Yeah, there's something called a space plane, and I don't know if that's like a private ship they're trying to develop.
Yeah,
Is that Richard?
Richard
Virgin,
Branson.
yeah.
Maybe
Branson,
that's
yeah.
it. That could be.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a weird name for something. Space plane.
Space plane.
He was trying to do
You see,
passenger flights and stuff.
Yeah,
can you imagine?
suborbital passenger flights. So
Would you
if
guys
wish-
go?
No, I
Depends how
hate
much it
planes
costs.
anyway. But
I love. To me, and forgive me, I love flying. The as bad as flying has gotten, and as much as it's become a bust on with wings. Growing up, when you used to have to like be in a suit to like fly and stuff, loved it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, and especially growing up during the Apollo stuff, my dad was like, "We're flying just like the astronauts," and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, so it's still very thrilling for me. I love the whole thing. I love when we lift off from the runway. Seriously,
Yeah.
I feel like an astronaut when I'm sitting there. It's like, oh, this is awesome. In my
I
mind, I'm like,
like flying. Yeah.
all right.
I hit it.
It's a blast. So no,
I've had too many weird experiences with flying that it's kind of turned me off to it. But one of the things I wanted to bring up is you hear about this plane that they want to make that's completely like see through, like the invisible plane, basically, where it has like the overhead would be completely transparent, so you can see the clouds and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
And the bottom, like the walkway in between the seats, that would scare the hell out of me.
Oh,
When you go to the bathroom and you flush, would you see like it like leave the plane as well?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Ew.
sign me up for that.
There's
Yeah,
been
great,
instances
Mario.
where
Welcome back to 2010. Why don't you draw a glove?
Look at that.
Where's those?
There it is.
yeah.
The jet.
Space plane.
I like it.
Ghost
Wonder Woman.
Ghost Dad can fly it.
Where does Wonder Woman go to the bathroom on the space plane?
The lavatory.
I was going to
Thank
say
you.
that there's a couple of instances where that big blue chunk of ice has fallen out of planes into people's houses.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun.
I'm just saying. They haven't thought of everything. I like the toilets on the space shuttles and on the space station and stuff.
It's a tube. You stick it up there, right?
I know there is like a whole there's a whole procedure when we take a dump, you see. Once again, I can't help it. Every voice I do now has to end with the Bill Cosby you see.
There's a space toilet in the Smithsonian. I went to Washington, D.C. one time and saw it there. I took
That
pictures
sucks.
of it and everything. It's something.
So how does it work then?
I don't remember. Want me to look it up?
Either. Yeah, I really want to know, though.
Space
Special
toilet.
guest.
Hi.
Space toilet.
Oh, hey, sweetie. Oh,
Oh.
She lost another tooth this week. 14.
hey, congratulations, son.
Whoa.
Do you have
Very
any?
common.
Do you have any left in your mouth? My
I
gosh.
know. We call her a jack-o'-lantern now.
Yeah, man.
Is that the
Piano-
tooth fairy
piano
looking in
teeth.
the window back there?
Don't start with the windows, dude. Johnny's pissed.
He's a cute kid. No. That's I get
Love
disarmed
you.
when I see the children. Scoot, I like your kid's name. I like your kid Fallacy. I think she's awesome.
Yeah, John didn't think she was real.
I like those pictures of her.
I did see the Harley Quinn, the
It's good.
newest Harley Quinn
Yeah,
episode.
I did
I
too.
haven't seen it yet.
It was
Spoiler.
hysterical.
No
Yeah,
spoilers.
those shows are good.
I got to catch up.
I'm on episode 2 of season 2.
Oh, good. You're
I'm
almost
getting
there.
Well, let me give it away for you.
Captain Speaking.
I'm on
Oh,
episode
speaking-
3.
I have the info on a space toilet. It's a zero gravity toilet. It can be used in a weightless environment. In the absence of weight, the collection and
Well, I
retention
hope
of
so.
liquid
It's
and
space.
solid waste is directed by use of airflow.
So
Oh.
what's
Does it suck it out?
to
Suck it
stop
out?
poop from flowing back up onto your buttocks?
It's.
I don't know. There's like a whole diagram if you look on Wikipedia under space toilet.
Did you see your
It
box?
says here. Okay, urine is
What's up?
pumped into and stored in waste storage drawers. Solid waste
Whoa.
is stored in a detachable bag made of a special fabric that lets gas, but not liquid or solid, escape. A feature that allows the fan at the back of the vacuum chamber to pull the waste into the bag. Oh, it sounds like you sit on like a vacuum cleaner and it sucks it out of you.
This
When
is
the astronaut is
ridiculous.
finished,
Why don't they just flush it out into space?
Since
when the astronaut is finished,
Do you
he or
want-
she then twists the bag and places it in a waste storage drawer. Samples of urine and solid waste are frozen and taken to Earth for testing. Who wants that job?
since
Bring it in.
since Art isn't here tonight, I'll do it. Oh,
Yeah, so exactly.
oh.
Oh,
I
sick.
believe Aretha Franklin used that to make her double album.
Oh,
Franco,
come
do you
on.
want to be stuck in orbit, just constantly circling the planet? You don't want
No,
that.
they take it back. They take it
No,
back for
wait,
testing.
No, I'm saying they should just flush it out of
Oh, I
into
see.
space. There's a
Maybe
lot of
they-
space out there.
Yeah.
But you don't want an alien to be, first contact. It's like, oh, look at this planet. Oh, I'm like,
It's like leaving a flaming bag on someone's. Those Earth assholes. They did it again.
If I were an astronaut, I'd rotate the shuttle to hit the afterburn to light the poop on fire. So it'd basically be
Mhm.
Like
I don't
on someone's
wanna set the
doorstep.
poop on fire. That's beautiful.
In the description, I noticed they say that the space toilet contains the solid waste and the liquid, but it doesn't contain the gas.
I just read
So-
that. Thank you.
That's allowed to. So, no, I bring it up.
the gas would explode.
I had to say it, Skunk. I know. I'm just
in other news. Lindsay Wagner's almost 70, I believe.
Yes, I just said that. That's all right. I had to do that, Skunk. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. And I love Negan too. I don't want people to think I hate you.
But
guys.
you don't love me and Franco. So
No, I can't stand you, Scoot. That goes without saying.
No. It's,
Once again, from Apollo 13, here's Jim Lovell. Whoa!
Wait, I'm gonna
Whoa!
no.
Oh, oh, oh.
Oh my god. Go on. I'm sorry. So your point about the gas? Yes.
No, that was near the end. I mean, does the whole shuttle smell like that then, or how does that work? Like why?
That's why he can't smoke on his shuttle.
Oh,
Why you need one of these on the shuttle?
Exactly. Hey,
or one of these.
Houston, it smells like summertime up here on the shuttle. Over.
Smells like West Philadelphia.
Born and raised.
Oh my god. That's
oh
outstanding.
man.
I love astronaut talk. We should keep going. That's the opening of $6 Million Man when he's on that kind of shuttle.
Oh, yeah.
Steve Austin, astronaut.
That used to scare me as a kid
Oh, I love that whole thing.
because it came
And
out.
the episodes where he would go back up in space, there was one where he was on Skylab. Man, Skylab, well before the International Space Station.
I remember Skylab. I remember when it
Skylab
fell
was
too.
amazing.
Yeah. I
Remember
remember when
when it
it fell. Yeah.
The aliens shot it down.
That's right.
Oh, did you guys see
Take
that,
that.
video footage of those lights out in Iowa or Idaho or something like that with the 4 lights and stuff like that?
No, what
What?
is it?
I don't know. I'm asking if you saw it.
They don't
No, I
So
live in
other words, it's
Ohio.
like an
Yeah, I see it.
unidentified phenomenon of lights and everything in the sky.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
someone was live streaming it on Facebook.
Oh,
Wow.
It was crazy.
that's a good idea.
Well, it might be another, kind of stealth thing that the Air Force doesn't want us to know about.
Space Force.
That's right. Like,
I
still
can
want
go
to
through
do
the
my
first
Space
episode.
Force
It was
idea
bad.
because
I'll
the
get-
TV show is very different than what I want to do. I want to do totally 60s Fantastic Voyage, You know, all the cheeseball pre 2001 movies and stuff like that. That's what I want to do with Space Force. There's an early 60s sci-fi space movie, and Phil Foster, the old Brooklyn comedian that plays Laverne's father on Laverne and Shirley, he's one of the astronauts. Come on, we got to go to the moon for Christ's sake. I mean, it's so
Frank DeFazio.
Yes,
DeFazio.
yes. Phil
love
Foster,
Frank
Frank DeFazio. I love that guy. He's awesome.
He's funny.
He was very funny. I hired Phil Foster because I used to write jokes for him. So as a thank you, I hired him back to be Frank DeFazio with my sister Penny.
We missed
Why
you,
did he-
Gary.
Why did he hire him in the first place? Why is he paying him back? What happened?
Because he gave him Phil Foster hired Gary Marshall to write jokes for him back in like the 50s.
Oh.
So as a thank you, when he was in a position to pay him back, he's like, here, be on this series. Happy days. Everybody on the cast liked each other. Laverne and Shirley, not so much, as I understand it. And he also, Betty Garrett, Mrs.
What?
No. Yeah, that's that's Mrs. Garrett. Facts of Life. Betty Garrett, the actress that played Frank's girlfriend, and she was the landlord on Laverne and Shirley. I can't remember her name either, but her husband was Larry Parks, and he was ruined by the un-American activities, McCarthyism period, and she was kind of blackballed as well for like 20 years, and like Gary Marshall gave her the job. I liked it, good actress. So, or like Max from Heart to Heart, that's Mrs. H. She's gorgeous.
When they
When the
met,
two of them get together, it's murder. He was blackballed too. Lionel Stander. He was another guy that was called a communist by the Un-American Activities Committee.
Wow.
I met, and I can't remember his real name, so it's a bad story. But the Big Ragu, I met
Carmine. Sure.
Carmine.
Eddie Mecca is
Eddie Mecca. That's it. It's Eddie Mecca. I met Eddie Mecca a number of years ago, and
the Big Ragu. That's the best nickname.
I don't know why. All I said was like, what was it like? What was I said? So I usually ask these type of questions. Like,
I understand you're not a real astronaut. What's the deal with that, Ragu?
You're not a real actor because you were a secondary guy in the show.
He's a dancer.
I was not right with that astronaut. I will admit that. But I'm very, very nice. And I asked, what does it feel like to be part of like television history, like
Sure. To the Big Ragu.
television history? And he went off into this tirade about how he hated them all.
Really?
And I
That's
was
what
like,
Gary
whoa.
Marshall said, yeah.
And after a while, I like wanted to leave. I was like, okay, and he just wouldn't stop.
Well, that kind of makes sense because I know he left the show early.
Well,
It's really weird.
Equal billing with like Lenny and Squiggy or something. I don't remember the exact story because I was kind of just horrified.
Boy, Lenny and Squeaky were hilarious. This guy just danced around.
I got no problem with Eddie Mecca. He was fine on the show. He didn't do a bad job. But Lenny and Squiggy were hired originally to be writers, and they kind of, because they were so funny and stuff, kind of like Gary Marshall's like, let's use them. And David Lander and of course Michael McKean.
Amazing.
And they were going to spin them off.
As
They were
great
gonna
as
spin.
and Laverne and Shirley.
Can't hear the word you're saying. Repeat yourself.
I said as great as Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams are, Lenny and Squiggy were the better characters on that show.
They were going to spin them off into their own show, and it was going to be them. Like it was literally going to be like a Gomer Pyle, where they're like young enlistees and everything. And yeah, they're like, now it's like, yeah, that's all right. No thanks.
They
That was
spoke
their
to
idea.
Erno Mann and Scott Baio and Abe Vigoda, and we're like, no, don't do it.
There you go.
I don't know what he
No,
said.
I know. I didn't mean to. There are times when Mike talks and you can't hear him, so that's why I'm like, start again. We cannot hear you
Sorry.
again. Well, maybe if you unhooked your laptop from the suspension wires and broadcast like a human being, that might be different. Yep, there you go. And once again, killing vampires. Thank you.
I think he's got it on a selfie stick and he can just move it
I
around.
don't care.
I need to get a professional setup just for Johnny.
There you go.
Like a professional camera and a professional microphone and professional lights.
What happened to Johnny?
He left. He couldn't take the unprofessionalism.
Johnny's
anymore.
disgusted in a cloud of smoke. Exactly. The youngsters out there. No, all you have
Do
to
a
do is
commercial
buy.
for that.
Hey, spend $20 and get a stupid headset. You obviously can move your computer, so move it away from the window.
Wow.
I think you can do it on a shoestring, son. But that's your own business, by all means.
He's on a shoestring right now.
Exactly, literally. Anyway, the other day I was. Sorry, I can't understand what you're saying.
Don't see that, Johnny. Everyone else can hear me.
What'd you
People
say?
are saying I'm a star here.
Again, he's yelling at me, and we can't understand him because he's got this Mickey Mouse like stupid string with a tin can sound
Oh.
system.
Oh, I
Maroon.
love it.
All
I
right,
think
goodbye.
it's great.
I'm not leaving. I'm just turning
I'm
this
gonna
off
go.
and going away in a cloud of smoke.
Can I go have my people talk to your people? I want a new contract. I can't do
Oh
it.
yeah, that'll come right up. Maybe instead we'll just get you a new commercial instead.
You got a commercial ready for him?
No, I ain't got nothing because we're leaving now.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
Are we
What do you
done?
mean? We've been on for
we
2
done?
hours. Where you been?
Well,
I just got here.
It's only been an hour and 45 minutes, but whatever.
We didn't even get to talk about Teen Wolf yet.
Ooh,
Teen
I
Wolf.
love Teen Wolf.
Let's talk about
Why,
Teen Wolf.
why are we supposed to talk about Teen Wolf?
Oh, I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it. Anybody else want to talk about it?
I'm okay with that, but I'm just curious what we're talking about. That's all.
No, absolutely no reason. I've never seen Teen Wolf 2 starring Jason Bateman. I've seen the dance sequence that happens partway through the movie, but I've never seen the movie. Have you guys seen the second one?
Yeah,
Yes.
it sucks.
Oh, was it bad? Okay, well,
It's almost as good as the first one.
I'd like to thank you all for joining us.
There is
great.
boxing in Teen Wolf 2.
Oh,
Teen Wolf 1 has a certain charm to it. Teen Wolf 2 is just lacking everything.
Wasn't Teen Wolf 1 written by Jeff Loeb?
He
Yeah.
was co-written by Jeff Loeb.
Yeah.
That was going to be one of my points. And I always, the love interest in the movie is the girl Boof. Her nickname is Boof, which cracks me up. And I'm like, so whatever happened to Boof? And literally, Love's like, actually, last month I had dinner with Boof. She married a studio executive, and he goes, a very good friend of mine, and I see her all the time. I'm like, that is awesome. I love talking-
Doesn't Kavanaugh know Boof? Wasn't that part of his thing?
Kavanaugh, who, buddy? I don't know.
The Supreme Court, Kavanaugh, remember that? Boof,
Oh, nice,
Boofy?
nice. Oh, yeah, well, no, yeah. What was his? Oh, yeah, his buddy's name was Squeak.
Yeah. Mhm.
I loved when Matt Damon was playing Kavanaugh on the hearings.
He's like, I like beer.
He was a frat boy. He's a middle-aged former frat boy. It's ridiculous.
oh,
Michael J. Fox.
and he's wearing the costume from
Yeah,
the
look at
movie.
that.
That's
pretty
hilarious. That's really
Wow.
cool. Very cool, Anthony.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's so weird. You met him during the course of this show? Where are you right now?
I love Michael J. Fox, and I'm glad that he still acts despite having to deal with MS and everything. I think it's amazing. He's fantastic. Hey,
Yeah.
get your damn hand. Actually, that's
Back to the
what's his
Future.
face. It's the father. Yeah, that's
Crispin.
Get your
Crispin,
damn
yeah.
hands off her.
exactly. No, Biff, you leave her alone.
Oh, there's a funny. I wish I had it now. I could show you guys, but the actor that plays Biff, he looks
Yeah, Tom
exactly
Wilson.
like Biff from the future in Back to the Future.
He
Like he's
does.
heavier and he's got gray hair. He looks
He's
just like
funny.
him. Yeah,
Have you
he
ever
is
seen his
funny.
stand-up? He is and he does a great song about his whole career, like all the stupid questions he gets all the time, and it's very, very funny. Look that up, everybody, on YouTube.
I don't know if you
Tom
guys know
Wilson.
this, but the guy that played Biff looks like himself from the movie.
Mhm.
I don't know if you knew that.
He grew into the character.
But yes, I've seen that bit where he sings the song and all about his career. It's great.
Oh. Very fun.
I got something to announce. Coming Monday on Word Balloon. I recorded this on Friday. I spoke with Brian Wise Volk or Volk Weiss. I forget which hyphen is first, but he is the creator of The Toys That Made Us and the movies
cool.
that made us, the two Netflix shows.
Yeah,
And
that's
he has
cool.
a brand new show that's on Amazon Prime and regular YouTube, not premium YouTube, normal YouTube. It's called A Toy Store Near You. and he's shooting this with toy stores. They are shooting it during the pandemic. They are shooting their own video portion of the show to put it together, and he puts it all together in Burbank. They send it to him, and every 3 or so weeks there's going to be a new episode, and he's going not only all around the country but the world. The first episode is in Portland. The second one is in Lawrence, Kansas, at a store called 1313 Mockingbird Lane. Everybody knows the reference to that. And he's going to be in Bric-a-Brac in Chicago, and I forget what New York store he might be at, but he's going to be. They're going to do one in Japan, and they're doing one in the UK, and one in British Columbia and in Canada. It's cool.
So what is the show about?
It's about the stores, and also it is talking about how each store is handling things during the virus. I mean, the Billy Galaxy in Portland. It was about the main guy and his two co-workers, and yeah, they're just like telling really how they're handling things, and some of them had other jobs that they lost and everything, but Billy's keeping them on staff, and it's cool because they show toys. I know, exactly. I said that on purpose, Wayne, but thanks for playing. It's cool. There are serious parts to it. It's almost like a documentary with a slightly serious tone, but it's like they still show the toys, and the toys are really interesting. And yeah, because he's like, I never wanted to do a toy store show, but this suddenly occurred to me. And also, the proceeds from the show are going to help these stores. So anytime those shows air or you watch it, there's a royalty that's being cashed and will go to the stores. So it's very cool. And he's amazing. He also is behind Comedy Dynamics, which is a Roku channel on Pluto and a few other platforms. And he has made a ton of stand-up specials for people like Aziz Ansari, and he's done stuff with Kevin Hart and Mark Maron, to name a few stand-ups. And he also just made, and it's on Amazon Prime, an incredible documentary about the great comedian that died in the mid-'90s, Bill Hicks. And Bill Hicks is he's like the Lenny Bruce of the 90s. And a lot of modern comedians look to him as an influence. And I am pleased to say I got to see him perform live in Chicago before he passed away in the mid-'90s. But yeah, I mean, honestly, we talked for about 35 minutes, me and Brian, and I'm very pleased with the conversation. So that's going to drop on Word Balloon, both video and audio on Monday. So,
that's cool.
Good for you. You're going to have to listen and hear those things and watch them.
Yeah, that's true. It's true, Wayne. Exactly. You're not part of the club until I've yelled at you for something. Very true.
We should have Wayne actually come on with us so you can yell at him live, face to face.
I'm up for Wayne being on the show. Wayne would be. Wayne has great stories. Wayne can talk about all the great original art that he's bought over the years, and touring most of North America, both in Canada and in Los Estados Unidos.
I don't think he'd want to come on. But
I bet he'd come on. Yeah, I agree, Robert. He is. He's a genius. And his comedy. He was complaining about the Gulf War. I'm like, go back to sleep, America. The government doesn't want you paying attention to what's going on. And he would, his stuff could be applied to any of the current, conflicts that we're in. He was very ahead of his time.
I like it.
I got a question for you guys. I got into a heated disagreement with someone this week about
another astronaut.
I want everyone's opinion. Which is the better Indiana Jones movie? Temple of Doom or
Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Forgive me, honestly.
Raiders of the Lost Ark is the best one.
But I thought we had this conversation.
I think we were arguing about which is the worst one. I say Crystal Skull, they say Temple of Doom, and then I vehemently disagreed with their life choices.
So I'm sorry, the choices again. Forgive me, I was talking.
Which is the worst out of the franchise? Is it Temple of Doom or Crystal Skull? My choice is Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I would agree with
you. Yeah, Crystal Skull.
Yeah, I mean, Temple of Doom has a lot of good.
It lost me too early with the fridge scene and stuff. I was like,
that I understand. You're not alone in that feeling, Scoot. That didn't bother me.
That's where it lost me though. And then after that, everything was just like, it
didn't. Right. The whole premise of Indiana Jones are ridiculous things.
Not that ridiculous.
So yeah, okay, But I mean, yeah, whatever. Again, you're not alone. A lot of people say that.
I don't mind it about aliens. I just don't. I think it was handled poorly. The whole thing
Yeah.
with Shia LaBeouf
I
was
think,
handled
I think the aliens. Well, and also just the inclusion of Shia LaBeouf. It's like, no, we don't want a legacy character. We want Indiana Jones.
Yeah, I actually like the alien stuff. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, me
It just
too,
got all
actually.
handled like kind of poorly, like the
It was handled
whole-
poorly.
I can't
It's weird
imagine.
that his
Man,
name was Boof.
His argument,
Yeah,
that was,
exactly.
his argument was that after the opening scene of Temple of Doom, when he gets into the plane, is like, "Goodbye, Lao Che," and he slams the door and it says Lao Che. He goes, "Anything after that is just stupid." And I'm like,
Well,
no, there's some really good stuff in there.
I love when they realize there's no pilot, and it's like, can you fly the plane? And he's like, no. How hard can it be?
And
But I mean, there's a lot of stupid stuff. But I also like the mine shaft. I think that scene's cool. Short Round is funny.
Short Round's great. The scene where they're getting
Just a
squished,
pleasure.
and that's a great scene. The scene when they're on the bridge and it's like, oh, hold on, and you're all like, what? And everyone starts wrapping their hand around the thing. Like that's a great scene.
No, it's got a lot. It's got a lot more better scenes than Crystal Skull. See, like the monkeys swinging and Shia LaBeouf swinging with the monkeys.
I love that scene.
That's stupid. And
Artie would love it. Artie loves, I bet, Crystal Skull.
Oh, it's great, sir.
It's
I was going to say the clock's running for the last sequel. I mean, and this pandemic isn't helping. It's like, you better hurry before Harrison Ford really can't do it anymore.
He really can't do it now. He's in his 70s.
He'll be fine. He'll put another earring on and he'll be fine.
He'll be fine. No, I understand what you're saying. It's just like this Mike Tyson comeback, then everything. It's like Harrison Ford. I understand that he's not going to be able to leap and run and shit like that, but he'll be fine. He'll be fine.
You watch.
I would rather see an older Harrison Ford. Although I keep saying, I think they ought to let Sean Patrick Flannery make one Indiana Jones movie.
I think that would be awesome. But you'd have
before they give it to somebody else to do. What's that?
You'd have to get him out of the gutter, though.
Well, I understand. I don't know what condition he's currently.
Why is he in the gutter now?
No, Hollywood gave up on his career sometime in 2001.
Yeah, but he's not going to give up on acting for another 5 or 6 years. So,
Boondock Saints was a good cult movie.
What was a good movie?
Boondock Saints.
Boondock Saints, but that's
I love Boondock Saints.
20 years ago already.
I understand.
Yeah.
William Dafoe.
Listen, as much as Harrison Ford is, of course, Indiana Jones, if 30 years ago they decided to make Indiana Jones like James Bond, then it could have worked. But now we've missed the boat. I
disagree. They'll reboot Indiana Jones. I think Bradley Cooper would have been a fine Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
and may still be.
I
think no. I think you absolutely will see another actor play Indiana Jones. Absolutely, that's too big of a franchise to at least attempt it.
What about the actor that played Solo in the Solo movie? Could play Indiana Jones?
No.
I think
he couldn't even
Bronson.
play Harrison Ford in the other movie.
He's a good actor. He just wasn't a right fit for Han Solo. But I like him in a lot of his movies. That Warren Beatty movie he made, where Warren Beatty is Howard Hughes. Rules Don't Apply. And Lily Collins, Phil Collins' daughter, Habla Babla Boomski. They're like the romantic couple in that movie. Rules Don't Apply. So she's in
Habla Babla Booski.
Habla Babla Boomski. That's like a Harry kind of boy. Oh boy, look at that, Lily Collins, everybody. Hi, she's grown up to be a lovely little actress.
Look at
the
her.
dirty Harry laugh. That's a lot of hooker mileage when Harry does that laugh. That's like,
the next
I remember in Fresno once.
The next Indiana Jones movie is going to be about ghost stories. I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I don't think so.
But unfortunately, we're out of time, so we can't.
We are out of time. We should have talked about ghost stories. We're going to talk about ghost stories. Why didn't you bring
Next
it up?
time, we'll talk about ghost stories. That'll be great.
Oliver tried to. You guys didn't listen.
Was he talking to us?
Yeah, he was talking about ghost stories earlier.
No, he's talking about Dumbo. I was listening.
Yeah, the
Ghost
I
ghost.
said Dumbo. I've seen a peanut stand, and I've heard a rubber band.
T.
And
Brown,
I've
I
seen
would
a
watch
needle blink its eye.
I
You've
would
seen
watch
a
that.
penis stand?
A penis stand, exactly. A penis stand. Yeah, I believe it was in. Boca Raton. It was beautiful. A peanut stand.
Scope, can you do a Indiana Jones impression?
No, I can't. I've tried to do a Harrison Ford, and it's awful.
He just talks really slowly.
Put an earring on.
That's what
Supposed
I
to be
need.
in a museum. That's what you're supposed to say.
That's what I'm missing, the earring. No, I
Does he have
can.
an earring?
I can
Yeah.
do that. Yeah, he definitely
I
has an
noticed.
earring. He's
I never
still wearing
noticed.
the earring. Still.
Yeah. So is it Michael Jordan still wears that one hoop earring too.
Yeah.
All I know is
Still-
Michael lost the Hitler mustache, and we all breathe a sigh of relief.
You hear they're going to do a Michael Jordan documentary style ESPN thing for Tom Brady?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They may as well.
And it's really good. And I'm not a basketball guy, but I'm really actually enjoying that last dance. It's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's excellent.
Franco watched it, didn't you, Franco?
I did. Now I know everything there is to know about basketball. Go ahead, ask me anything. Go ahead.
Yes, Wayne.
Why don't you play
the penis
basketball?
stand was at the Korean baseball game.
I did try out for the team, but did I ever tell you about the story? The very first time I played basketball. Did I ever tell you about that?
This is Franco's last dance. Please,
You
go
blocked like 5 guys because you're so tall. You're swatting the ball away like Shaq.
No, this was in grade school, and for those of you that don't know, I was born here. I was the first one in my family born in this country. So I learned to speak English when I went to school. So I wasn't exposed to a lot of American things in my younger days. So when I went to gym class, we were playing basketball, and the coach, because they would line you up in alphabetical order by your name. So I was really on the A. I was in the front. So he passed me the basketball, and he says, "All right, do a layup." And I'm like, all right, I don't. Okay, ¿qué cosa? So I turned to the kid behind me. I'm like, "What's a layup?" I mean, by this time I learned that I knew how to speak English, but I'm like, "What's a layup?" He goes, "Well, it's when you go towards the basket on one leg and you try to throw the ball in the basket." So I'm like, "All right."
Poor Francis.
So I hopped on one leg towards the basket.
You poor guy.
And
Seriously, my heart- seriously.
everybody made fun of me.
Well, yeah.
And
'Cause they're kids,
yeah.
so they're evil.
Well, yeah.
And I
Well,
was,
no,
and I
I'm
was
saying 'cause
traumatized.
kids are evil that way. Of course, they'd make fun of him. The poor
And I was
guy.
traumatized, and
I bet you were.
never
I'm
played
very sorry to hear
basketball
that. Seriously.
And they call him Hoppy until junior high school.
Yeah.
We had
Yeah, and then in
immigrant-
junior high school, I went out for the soccer team, and I ran funny, so they called me Spaghetti Legs. So
Oh, Jesus.
that was
Man, we had immigrant kids, and obviously you said you were born here and everything, but we did have immigrant kids in our junior high, and we had kids from Burma and a kid from Israel, I remember, and it was just really tough for them to get acclimated. They did eventually, but man, I look back at that and it's still I cringe. I mean, I wasn't mean, honestly, believe it or not. I was a nice kid.
I don't
I
believe
was
it.
a nice kid. But seriously, man, it really would upset me watching these poor kids and stuff. I don't know. It did. I'm like, and I guess because I had so many Greek relatives that never bothered to really learn English properly or anything.
They didn't learn English.
English, exactly. I know.
There were two other things that traumatized me in grade school, and they all had
Please go on, Francis. We want to know about young Francis's heart getting broken.
they all had to do with gym class, and the other one was they used to make you climb that rope, and I literally couldn't get not even a foot off the ground
Me neither.
because I had no upper body strength, so I got made fun of a lot for that. And then the other thing that I probably got made fun of because I was always a chunky kid, but they would always make you play shirts and skins when you played any team sports, and I was always skins, and I hated that. It was just.
So you had
I
man
would
boobs and stuff, basically.
I would do anything. I would get beat up every day. And this is therapy hour for Franco now.
I know. I was gonna say.
I would get beat up every day in school, all the way through high school, too. And
Jesus, man.
yeah, so in high school, I would get beat up a lot in the. That's what made my mouth move faster than my brain. That's where I learned that. But I would skip out of lunch because they would beat you up in the lunch room all the time. So I would leave the lunchroom and go to the library, and the librarian, she had like a wispy like head of hair, and it was cut really short, and it was red, and all the kids would call her Pumpkinhead, and it was awful. And I didn't like that, but they would call her Pumpkinhead, and they would sit in the back of the stacks, and they would go Pumpkinhead. They would like do that, you know. So I was sitting there and I would read by myself because I had no friends. So imagine you're trying to read like Jaws, you know, because that's why I read Jaws in high school. And you know, from behind you hear, Pumpkinhead.
No, that was Johnny. That kid was Johnny.
No,
So
I'm telling you, I was not. But I knew kids like that. Seriously, man, kids can be vicious. Just
So,
fucking
yeah,
vicious.
so-
Pardon me, but
So
yeah,
she
vicious,
knew
man.
it wasn't me calling her Pumpkinhead because I had no friends. But I would come in every day and sit there. And one day she calls me up and she goes, you, come here. She didn't even know my name, I think. She goes, you come here. And I'm like, well, me? She goes, yeah, come here. And she made me walk up to the desk and she goes, you're in here every day. You need to make friends. You're banned from the library. So I got banned from the library. I couldn't even go in the library. So it was back to the lunchroom and I got beat up every day.
You get even more. Okay, wow.
There was this girl, and I'm not going to say her name, but in elementary school, she legitimately, you know, in like typical comic fashion, slipped on a banana peel in the lunchroom. So
And did she poop when she landed?
I'm not going to tell you her name, but let's say, for argument's sake, her name is Katie. For her entire elementary school career, they called her Katie Banana Peel. And whenever she would come into the lunchroom, all the kids would throw their banana peels at her. And literally here in the head and the chest. It was the most awful. To this day, I think about it and I
Think it killed Johnny?
cringe to the idea that this poor girl abused her.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, kids can be cool.
Yeah, I have a kind of a funny story of a kid being mean, but it's not because it was like the Pumpkinhead. He's being kind of playing a prank on a teacher. We had this teacher, and this was probably like 10th grade. He was real into Teddy Roosevelt, this history teacher. He was excited to teach us about Teddy Roosevelt. So before class the one day, he had written on the board in chalk. They still use chalkboards back then. Said Teddy, real big. And then this one kid that always screwed around, he came in there before class. Like the teacher used to wait outside the classroom and like monitor the halls kind of thing. He was a bigger guy. And this kid came in class and he wrote blows under Teddy real big. So when the teacher came back in, we're all sitting there and like I saw him do it because I was one of the first ones in there. And plus, like I was like one of the good kids. So he came in there and he's talking to us and he's real excited. And he had his back to the board and everyone's trying not to laugh. And he turns around and he looks and he's just frozen and he's nodding his head. And he's going, Teddy blows, huh? Teddy blows. And then we're all trying not to laugh. And he turns around. He's like, who did it? And he's like looking around like he's all pissed. And then I swear his eyes are like getting watery, like he's about to cry.
Wow.
And he goes, he's like, Scoop, who did it? And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't see. Okay. Everyone didn't see anything, huh? Yeah, blah, blah, blah. And he's like going off. Then finally some girl ratted out the kid. We'll call him like Mike or something. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, oh, Mike, you did it, huh? And he goes, you think this is funny? Well, guess what? You're going to end up in jail when you're older. And he started like ripping on the kid in front of everyone. He's telling him what a horrible person he was. And sure enough, I think the kid probably did end up in jail at some point.
You don't want to
That's
know some of
hilarious.
my tactics for getting information out of kids because I'll get the information out.
But the
I'm vicious as a teacher, man.
Yeah.
Having
best
grown
part-
up being bullied all those years in school,
Right.
I'm vicious as a teacher.
The best part was that he turned around and he just froze and he nodding his head and he's reading it over and over. Teddy blows, huh? Teddy blows. Teddy blows. He's like about to cry.
My buddy who I sublet from, his father-in-law, before he got married, he and his wife, his father-in-law is a massive Harry Truman fan, goes out of his way to find Truman memorabilia, has 2 handwritten letters from Truman framed in his basement office. And Tim went to his screensaver computer and he had a scroll going, Truman's an idiot. It's like, dude, what are you doing? That's going to be your father-in-law. He's like, yeah, he knows I'm kidding. I'm like, I think that's a good move, man. Not good.
I remember, talking about that guy crying with Teddy
The
Blows.
teacher grind.
Yeah.
We go into science class one day, and the teacher, like, it started in one area of the room, like little Snickers, and then like it would go to the next couple of kids, and then and I was freaking clueless, but it finally gets to me, and they point out to me that the guy's been teaching the entire time with his fly open, and you can see his boxers with little heart shapes on them through his fly.
Wow.
And then he finally realized, and he was like, he turned beet red. The poor guy. I felt so bad for him. Oh, it was awful. But yeah, it's just, I have lots of stories, but we can't get into them now.
Oh, we also had my one friend got suspended for 3 days because the orchestra teacher's name was Rhea Bobinski, and there was like letters that were being sent to the parents. Please come to our spring concert, and they wrote Diarrhea Bobinski for her name.
Oh, man.
And he got busted, and he got suspended for 3 days for writing Diarrhea Bobinski. I'm like, awesome. So, my high school teacher. I should look at the live comments.
Yeah, there was one class where the teacher was just like really mad, like really, really, like he would go after you. He was vicious, and like he laced into me one day, and I was just so mad. I was boiling. I remember I was just like, I could feel my face turning red, and I was just like on the verge of tears because I was just so upset because I hadn't done anything wrong, and he just like laced into me. So at the end of his tirade, he tells me to go get to work. Get to work. Blah, blah, blah. So I get up and I go sharpen my pencil. And I remember he had a line of plants by the pencil sharpener, and it was right next to the window. So as I walked with my pencil, I poked each one of the plants, and they fell out the window. And I got in trouble for that, but I was pissed. But yeah, awesome.
I had this one teacher that he was awful. He was a great teacher, but he was an awful human being. And he one time said to the kids in the front, he was asking people questions, and he was really picking on this girl in front. And I can't remember what the question was, but she just couldn't answer it for whatever. And he just kept, well, what's the answer? Didn't you study? Did you? And he goes, my wife was in a coma for 4 months, and she was smarter than you. And
Jesus Christ.
Jeez.
Wow.
I was like, wow. And really a belligerent dude. So one day, the class, it was a chemistry physics class. It was combined. It was two periods combined. So the period before was lunch. I never went to lunch. I would always leave the school and come back. So I went and I would get food, and then for whatever reason, sometimes I'd run late and I'd eat in his class. So he was like, Nagin. He goes, unless you're gonna bring for everybody, don't bring. So being the wise ass that I was, I brought a pizza to the class, and he literally was like, "Get the F out of here, Nagin."
Wow.
He didn't say F either. And I had to go downstairs.
I feel bad telling all these horrible teacher stories. Can I tell you about my favorite teacher in high school?
Nah.
He was a math teacher. I hated math. He was geometry teacher. And the guy, he had a very slow cadence. So he would talk like this. And he would explain different theories. CPCTC. All these things in math. And his name was, I'm not making this up, his name was Murray Lotion. Awesome guy. Murray Lotion. We used to call him
Basso.
We used to call him
Mr. Lotion.
We used to call him slow motion lotion because he would talk like this.
I like it.
and his first name was Murray, so we called him No Hurry Murray. Slow motion lotion. Right? Kids are very inventive, right? So
that's clever, though.
There was this one day, there was this kid who was just being a real jerk. He was just like, the poor guy's trying to teach, and this kid is being a jerk. And I was sitting on one end of the room, and the kid was sitting on the other side. you know, and Mr. Lotion is up there going, you know, CPC, the Pythagorean theorem, blah blah, and this kid just like wouldn't shut up. So he was talking and talking and talking, and No Hurry Murray saunters over. I'll never forget this. Saunters over. He stands in front of the kid for a full 30 seconds. Kid pays him no attention. Murray winds up, kicks him in the shin as hard as he can. The kid like goes, "What?" He goes, "Shut up!" And he started yelling, "Shut up! I'm trying to teach. What does it take to get you to shut up?" The kid was like, Murray was awesome. He always had like a deep tan. He had this white hair. Like a Larry Fine hair. It was awesome. And he would
I'm gonna teach really slow, Mo.
His hobby, I'm totally like selling this guy out. His hobby was flying kites on the beach, which is why he always had like the tan. It was awesome.
I love kites.
Yeah, I love that. I love that description of a real character.
It was
I'm gonna
awesome.
fly a kite today, Mo, and then I'm gonna teach you real slow. Why, you?
He would talk like.
Hey, porcupine, tell me about the Pythagorean theorem, but do it real slow. All right, Mo.
He would
Mr.
hang
Lotion,
himself when he ran out of wire.
Mr. Lotion.
Mr. Lotion, tell me about math real slow.
Some of my favorite memories of high school, though, were like the class clowns and the troublemakers. Because when you went on to college, you didn't have those guys in school, but you had those guys in high school. And I found out this week that one of them passed away, and I don't know what someone said an OD. But a funny story about him was he used to make this English teacher real mad all the time because you'd read like poetry or whatever. He'd always read it in an accent. She'd get real pissed with him and send him into the hallway. And one time she's like, "Tim, why don't you take a seat outside?" So he picked up his desk and he like carried it all the way out in the hallway. He's like banging into stuff. And she just stood there and stared at him while he went out there. Franco hates those kids.
They don't do that in my class.
Groundskeeper?
Wow.
Oh man. Yeah, no, I'm not going to tell any stories about me being a teacher because I'm vicious if they're out of line. Like,
What about Skoke? Wait, he didn't say anything.
I had a gym teacher who doubled as our health class teacher. So this guy, I don't know what kind of training he had for the health class, but he taught us about probably nothing. He was teaching us about diarrhea one day. He goes, yeah. He's up there at the front of the class, and he sounded like
Eating Taco Bell.
he sounded a lot like Sylvester Stallone. Looked nothing like him. And he had white hair, but it was like yellow white. It was weird. And he's up there. He's telling it. He's like, "Okay, guys. Now it's very important to have medicine in your medicine chest, especially diarrhea medicine, because you don't want to have to go to the drugstore and leave a trail behind."
Oh my God. Jesus.
And so he told us that. Another time he told us he wished he could give us all a shot at our desks, have us all do a shot so we could see what it feels like. He taught us about, because it was health class, he taught us about STDs. That was exciting coming from him.
You. He holds his pants.
Yeah. Check this out, guys.
We had a really cool English teacher, Mr. Meyer. Really nice young guy, and we all loved him. And at the end of the semester, we bought him a case of beer, and we're all underage. And he's like, "Guys, seriously," we're like, "Hey, man, you're awesome. Here's a case of beer. Have fun this summer." And it's like, get it out of here. he was laughing, but it's like, "Guys, seriously, we will all get in trouble for this." We're like, don't worry about it. It's all right. So,
one last thing. I want to say quickly one last thing about the gym teacher who doubled as the health teacher. When we had the gym class part that he taught, we had 2 weeks of swimming in the pool. So one morning he would have us line up in the locker room before we go out to the pool. And we're all standing there, and it was always cold. And he's standing there, he's looking at us, and he just goes, "Guys, the water's so cold, your wieners will turn blue."
that's
Thanks.
awesome.
That's great.
We had a former pro pitcher, baseball player, Pete Burnside is his name. He played for the Senators and he played for the Giants over his baseball career. Like 5 or 6 years in the pros. Played in Japan for a while too. Really interesting guy. And speaking of swimming and stuff, he taught swimming. And my girlfriend at the time would always like have a note and stuff. And literally he came to me and he's like, Chad, you got to talk to Monica. I mean, she can't miss like an entire semester of swimming and stuff. And I'm like, gee, I don't know what to tell you, Mr. Burnside. I'm like, what am I supposed to do? I'm a junior. I was a junior or a senior in high school. I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, man. But he was awesome. Very soft-spoken guy. But we'd like kind of beg him for baseball stories. And every now and then he'd tell us. And he played with Willie Mays and Juan Marichal and all those great 60s San Francisco Giants and stuff. It was really, really cool. Good dude. Really good dude. Pete Burnside. Look him up. He's a real player.
You guys are talking about sports struggles in school. We had a guy, he grew up in Finland and he came here for high school and he knew nothing about baseball. And in gym class, we had 2 weeks of softball that we played outside. And when this kid came up to bat, everybody would clear out because every time he would swing, when he finished his backswing, he would throw the bat. Every time, whether he hit the ball or not, he would swing and he would let go and whip. The bat would go flying, and everybody's like, "Whoa!" Everybody got mad at him because he got really close to hitting some kids sometimes, but he couldn't do it. Like he could not hang on to the bat when he would go through the swing.
These are the sad stories, man. Honestly, I'm laughing, but my heart would be like breaking for that poor kid. Poor Fjordman. That's a shame. What was his name? What was his name?
His name was Tom.
Oh, okay. That's a simple name. I was hoping it'd be like Union, or something like that, or
No, that was it. It was just Tom.
Like
I can't beat up on the kid though because I was terrible in grade school. The Bulls were really good, so I was really into basketball. Never missed a Bulls game. I watched every game. I wanted to play basketball, but I was like under 5 feet, so I was really short, and I was not good at the game. I just like to play. So I went to basketball tryouts, and they had an A team and a B team. The A team was all the good kids. So they all made the A team, and the B team was everybody else. That's the team I was on. I scored no points that year. Not one game did I score a point. You
were the worst kid on the B team.
I was the worst kid on the B team. How does that happen? But I could tell you where Han Solo grew up.
Yeah.
So. That's right, ladies.
Were you picked last all the time when you'd play pickup games at the park or whatever?
Oh yeah, most of the time because I was not athletic and I was short. I didn't stand a chance.
How do you think I feel? I wasn't athletic and I was tall.
Yeah, exactly.
It's even worse.
All right, this is very depressing hearing about all your dysfunctional school stories, boys.
I'm in my athletic high school Hall of Fame, so you got that.
Are you
really?
You know what?
I am.
Screw you.
What was your sport?
Cross country and track. I still hold the mile record at my school at 4:24.
Wow.
Yeah.
Barry Allen, everybody.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And I played basketball too.
Did you ever hydrate during those
Why don't you
long
take a
runs?
commercial break and let us know about hydrating.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
Johnny needs to stay hydrated.
That was my point. I wanted to make Skokie spit. So whenever he's out of the picture, I know I've succeeded. That's good. I appreciate that, Skokie. Thank you.
It worked. You did it.
Oh man,
It's an illusion.
all
I
right.
learned that at the Magic Show.
Can I tell you about my Little League career?
No.
Yes,
No.
you did. Actually, yes, you did. I'm sorry. Let's move on now. Go. I'm teasing you, Mike. said it that way. What am I supposed to do?
So anyhow, I was obviously the worst player on the police athletic league team in elementary school. So I played the position I played was roving right field.
They made up a position for you.
Roving right field because the I can't even think
Right
of
fielder.
the field. The field was in a park, right? So you'd have the diamond, you'd have the outfield, then you'd have a bike path, and then you'd have where I sat and waited for the ball to come.
You go long.
So I played that position for 3 years, roving right. The ball only came out to me once.
Roving right field.
Reading a comic book because I used to sit there and read comics that I missed it, and everyone hated me for it. So the coach, I hated him. I always was like, come on, I never got to bat. I was always roving right field. He made me miserable a good portion of my childhood. So suffice to say, after 3 years, my mother finally stopped forcing me to play baseball because she thought I had to play baseball because, your little kid has to play baseball. So years and years later, I meet my girlfriend, who is now my wife to this day. And we're at like a Knights of Columbus dance or something, where it's whatever we are. It's a Knights of Columbus thing, right? And we're sitting there and we're eating our cheap food, and I'm like maybe 17 or 18 years old. She's younger than I am, and all of a sudden the coach walks in, and I'm like, oh my god, I effing hate this guy. I hate him so much. I wish he was dead. I hate him. And she goes, that's my first cousin. I was like, oh.
Nice.
But no, it's okay. You're probably right.
Wow.
And now to this day, like this is a guy that was at my wedding because of all this. And meanwhile, he broke me as a child.
Does he remember you from being a kid?
Yeah, sure. You were bad. You were bad at baseball. And you're bad at English. So
yeah, at this point, being an adult, I'd be like, "And you're a hand job. Nice to meet you." Whatever. It's like, yeah, you owe the man no respect. Screw him.
I do not. But I try and.
My high school homeroom teacher, he stays in touch. He's a great guy, and he was young, and we had a blast in our homeroom. And he stays in touch with me on Facebook, and I'm glad he does. He's a good dude. Denny Hall. Good man. He's a football coach.
Oh, I
love.
Denny.
By the way, Knights of Columbus. I really like. Again, if I could draw, one of the stories I would love to do would be set in the old days, and part of it would be a Knights of Columbus kind of honoring high school kids with best basketball player in the community and all that stuff. And it's a murder mystery, but it would kind of revolve around that whole. Not only Knights, Rotary Club, Knights of Columbus, kind of those Elks clubs, those business connections that would help the community, and they'd all get together and especially with the Knights of Columbus. Did they have the goofy hats and everything?
Not at this thing. I wasn't
okay.
Columbus. This was just like it actually was what they called Night at the Races, and they would show old horse races from like the 30s and 40s, old silent reels, and then you'd bet on them.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, no one would read that story, Johnny.
No.
Yeah, I know. I know. Believe me, I would just as that 50s aesthetic of when suburbia was happening, and they would have these men's clubs that would be like all the business people and stuff, and hey, we get together and we'll figure stuff out. So,
Johnny, have you been reading Action and Superman?
Yes.
And this whole what is it? Not Forever Evil. That's the old thing. Year of Evil or whatever it's called. Part of a key component of the story is Lex Luthor talks about the days of his dad in this like very nice atmosphere.
Once again, you got to start over because I have no idea what you're saying.
The storyline that that's the Year of Evil. Right? Lex Luthor is looking to get in contact with this ethereal creature that created the universe. And the key to all of this winds up being in a very Knights of Columbus-esque building that his father used to be a part of, and all the characters in it are all like these old school Knights of Columbus type of characters that we all know if you ever frequented one of these places. And I found it so odd that like whoever decided to pull that idea, whether it was Bendis or whoever, was like, oh, let's write a story about Lex Luthor's dad being in the Knights of Columbus, and that's where the secrets of the universe are. It's like, what? Oh yeah.
No, it's like, well, it's like Brad Meltzer getting in with the the people in Washington, that designed Washington DC.
Your mom.
Yeah, my mama.
Stonecutters.
Exactly. Yes,
The
but
Masons.
the real
Masons.
stone, the Masons, the Freemasons,
Stone
thank you
Masons.
there. Yeah. And that, by the way, great Simpsons song, the Stone.
It is.
Song.
Yeah.
Well, on that
We
note,
do. All right,
thanks
we
for
can-
coming, everybody, because we've been here for 5.5 hours now.
That's true. Now we're at 2.5 hours. We're longer than Lawrence of Arabia.
I didn't get to
That's
tell my Little League story, but next time.
We'll do it. We'll do it next time, right after we
Okay.
do the ghost stories.
Ghost is
Who
right
knew
in
that Scoot was the jock of the group? I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I played shortstop, and I was also on the All-Star team. That was it.
Wow.
Scoot's the athlete. Wow.
How about that?
I didn't see that coming.
Hey, Scoot, nobody likes you.
No offense.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Thanks
See you
a lot,
next
everybody.
time. I'm
I
going to
like
tell you
Pink
ghost
very
stories.
much, Lois.
All right.
I like DJ Jazzy Jeff very much, Lois.
Teddy Blows, huh?
I did a literal spit take.
Oh, you thought we forgot. I like Pink very much, Lois. Goodbye.